Okay, so let's see. I think I got a new camera app, and I think it's gonna work. So I think I can upload this maybe. Giving up. It won't be. Maybe it'll be like 5 gigs instead of 30. That'd be pretty fucking cool. So just so we're on the same page here, because I'm like what 10, 20 years late. When did people start streaming and uploading stuff to YouTube? 2008. It was almost 20 years ago. 15 years ago. I'm late to the party. I'm late to the party. So if you're like, hey, your video quality sucks, or your presentation is lacking compared to the meta. The meta would be like the high production quality people. That's not the reason I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I'm literally terrified. I need something to keep me busy, I think. So I'm just gonna do this to keep me busy. It's busy, and the point of it is, if there is anything of value in this, it's not going to be production value. It's not going to be. I'm not the cameras guy. I'm not the guy who does cameras, or I'm just doing this so I don't go blow my brains out. That's why I'm gonna write these out. The key to not destroying yourself is to find an addiction that can be of use to you. So I was thinking about Woody Allen. Woody Allen he makes like a movie a year, and his movies nowadays kind of suck, but I think some of his old movies are fucking genius. Like Zelig is a genius movie. It's a movie about a person who he's a chameleon, so he becomes whatever he's around. You can make that movie today and it would be funny, I think. So that's a genius movie. So even if his movies today are mediocre, he had some genius movies and some genius ideas. So that he doesn't become like to keep himself busy, he keeps making mediocre movies, but that's so he doesn't, whatever. You got to do something to stay not crazy, I guess. So that's what this is going to be for me. It's going to be my terrible, movie a year or whatever. People. Okay. What jokes do I have? I have jokes. See, the other thing for me is that, I've got. Let me think. I can use analogies. Analogy would be, if you ever watched, there was a TV show called House. It was about this narcissistic doctor, and he would just, I need to argue with something, so like I'll argue with people in my own head. Like I'll make up people in my head to argue with because I need something to bounce off of. So this will be I'll talk into a camera and it'll be the thing I bounce off of. Because I'm addicted to conflict. In a way, I'm addicted to conflict. I need conflict. It's the juice of life. Without conflict, what is there? There's nothing. I'm a shark. I watch a lot of these narcissism videos on YouTube. And there's this guy named Sam Vaknin. And I probably listen to 20 hours of him, maybe more. It's just interesting to listen to because it's like, what is narcissism? And then I started thinking, I was like, what about because within human history, you have the Egyptians and the pharaohs and shit. And the pharaohs were they tricked the people into thinking they were gods, right? And then that's kind of narcissistic, isn't it? So narcissism is kind of like the nobility class. So that wasn't where my joke was going to start. I think that was somewhere I got to. My initial joke was going to be, I was like, Trump is the shark in the ocean. I'm going to call him that. He's just the zeitgeist. And I don't, I want to be I'm terrified of Trump supporters, I guess. Because, on this one hand, it's like, I might like stuff about him, but his supporters, they're, it's like religion, is it a religion for them? But then again, the Democrats are the same way, I guess. Is it a religion for them? Probably. So you can't go offending Trump because it's not that what if you 90% like the person, hey, I don't like this about you, Trump. And then his supporters are like, you're the Satan, because you can 95% support something, and then that 5% gets you like beheaded, like in Saudi Arabia, or his supporters I think are nut jobs. But then again, the Democrat supporters are nut jobs too. So I don't want to discriminate here. I'm not here to, I have a joke. There's a comedian. He would bring a notebook on stage, and then in the notebook he had nothing written in it. But I have a notebook, and I wrote something down because I couldn't remember stuff without writing. There's certain things I can't remember without writing down. So I have Gogol Plata and Omola Plata and Camorra written down. Because I can't remember that without putting that in a notebook. Because those are MMA moves, and I don't watch MMA that much, so. But I know they have these moves where you can like break people's arms and fuck people's shit up. So I wrote that down in my notebook so that I have it'll go into a joke later, right? It'll fit into a joke. Oh, I was listening to this. There's this Russian Jew podcast guy. His name is Lex Friedman, and he does like 3-hour podcasts. They're pretty good. They're pretty good podcasts actually. He did one on Ayn Rand, and so I looked up something because Ayn Rand fucked this guy. He just got out of college, and she was 25 years older than him. Wow, I mean, imagine being like 23 and fucking a lady who's like, I'm guessing he was 23. I don't know. He was, so 20, she'd be like 45, 40, let's say 45 to be lower end. I just looked at their date of birth. It was like 1905 and 1930. So I'm doing it based on that. I'm saying she's 25 years old, based on a Wikipedia article. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. She was 25 years older than him. And then the story was, even in his podcast, he was talking about how this Nathaniel Branden, he went and, because I knew about Ayn Rand from an Adam Curtis documentary. There's an Adam Curtis documentary that talks about how she was fucking Branden, and then they broke up, and she slapped him in the face, and she was like, I hope you can, she was a culty person, I guess. She was narcissistic, let's be honest, but she was a genius, but she was a narcissist. Let's cut through the fat here. But then that Brandon guy, he goes and fucks some young lady too, so the whole thing was very repetitive. It was that was the joke I guess I was going for. There's a movie called The Master with Philip Seymour Hoffman and the Joker fella. And at the end of the movie, at that end of that movie, he kind of becomes like he emulates the Master, I guess. So it's a good movie. It's got this scene where like they're in it's like an auditing scene, if you know anything about Scientology. I've never been audited, but auditing, it would be like, go look into your past. And it's a pretty good scene, even if like Scientology is bullshit, just going in and being like, hey, what was that memory? Trying to put your memories in boxes that make more sense. There's a logic to that. So like on this one hand, Philip Seymour Hoffman helps that stupid sailor Joker fella put his memories into focus a little better. But then on the other hand, he's just making shit up too, so. Oh well, Ayn Rand. 25 years older. God. What a disgusting. The reason the Adam Curtis documentary is about how she hung out with Greenspan, and Greenspan was like young, and he almost sounded like a pothead. He was like, I cannot prove my own existence. And then he becomes, in the 90s, he was like the head of the Federal Bureau of shit, money. Because, you have the idealized version of stuff, and then you have the pragmatic. So, Nathaniel Branden Institute? I don't know. Oh, well. Where was this joke? Oh, yeah. Oh, I was thinking about Donald Trump, and I like to make Donald Trump jokes because, not because I hate the guy, but just because he's fun to make fun of, because he's, not make fun of, but he's fun to like here's a really scary one. What if you made a joke and you're like, hey, do this, and then he went and did it, and you were just like, I was just making shit up. I was guessing what a character like you would do. Like back in 2020, I had this joke in my head where, because the flu came from China. There was this big flu, and it might have killed, I don't know, in the entire world, it might have killed like, that's a good question. What percentage of the world population did it kill? Well, it inconvenienced the world a lot. It ruined, it hurt economies and stuff. And it might have killed less than a percentage of people. I'm not some Dr. Fauci would know. I don't know. I don't know the number, but it was inconvenient. People had to stay at home and a bunch of shit like that. And my joke was, because when the world gives you lemons, you got to make lemonade out of it. That's what a good politician will do. So my theory was, back in the 1800s or something, the Chinese got subdivided. They got all their ports taken away. Like Hong Kong got taken away by the British, and they had these like reparations put on them. They had to give Western countries so much silver a year. And I was like, my joke would be like, hey, instead of being angry, why don't we say, hey, China, you're responsible for this, and you owe us. We get Hong Kong back, and we get like we get all these like port cities and shit. In China, they have this thing called the Century of Humiliation, and it's where the British were trying to shove heroin down their throat. Let me be honest. The British were enlightened, and they were trying to have a liberal drug culture. They wanted, like needle exchange, and they wanted to make sure that Chinese people have the right to, because they were libertarians. They cared about the Chinese, and the evil Chinese emperor didn't want like heroin in his country because he was like a tyrant. But the leftist British monarch, she wanted to make sure that, because people should be able to do drugs if they want. It's not the king's right to say you can't do, drugs. So the British went in there, and as a person, they wanted to enforce those liberal drug rights, and then because the Chinese fought back, they took all those port cities, and it's a very rough history. I should probably know more about that stuff if I'm going to make jokes about it, but those good British people just trying to help the Chinese people get their heroin. Oh, so we should do that. We should we should be like, hey, China, you did that Wuhan flu thing. You've been getting a little uppity lately. You owe us some silver, and we want those cities back. And, maybe the West invades them or something. I don't know, like you have a coalition of like Europe and Japan and, all them. It's important, it's important to make sure that if China shouldn't be getting so big, it should know its place. That's a terrible, terrible joke, but oh well. What if he took that joke and he literally did it? Would I be moral or responsible for him taking my make China pay reparations by invading them? And because I was saying it just to be funny, but no, I was actually just giving him an idea. Oh well, Trump ideas. There was a thing in Britain called Hadrian's Wall, and I think the Romans built it because you got to keep your soldiers busy. You got to get people busy work. If you don't get people busy work, they go crazy. And so I was going to make a joke about how like the U.S. Mexican wall is a Hadrian's Wall. I don't think it is. I think that's probably a real wall that needs to be made, maybe. But it could be a Hadrian's Wall. And then I was thinking, he needs to think bigger. Because my philosophy is that, most of the things come from the sun. The sun is like a fusion thingy. And then there's this protists shit. And the protists only get like, of the sun's energy, I don't know what percentage of the energy the protists of Earth get. And then we eat the protists. We don't eat protists. The vegetarians eat protists, but, we eat cows that eat protists. So it's like there's a pyramid power. You know what pyramid power is? I was watching this guy on YouTube he was a Mythbusters guy, and he did a myth on the power of pyramid power, and he hates that myth because pyramid power is about how you stick a dull knife under a pyramid and it makes it sharper because pyramids have power. And I think he missed the point of pyramid power. Pyramid powers are like pyramid schemes and society. It's Pareto principles. Most of society is a Pareto distribution, which is pyramid power. The protists on the bottom, then there's the cows, then there's the protists on the bottom, then there's like corn. And they grow corn, and the corn gets fed to the cows. And then we eat meat, or we might eat corn. I don't know. Some of you people eat corn. Or grains. Bread. Is bread a vegetable? Because it comes from oats, or not oats, wheat. Is wheat a vegetable? I don't know. The point is pyramid power and busy work and Hadrian's Wall. Mexican Wall is Hadrian's Wall. And then I was thinking, you gotta think bigger. You gotta create a bigger Hadrian's Wall. So instead of relying on protists, when I was a kid, there was this thing called Star Trek, The Next Generation. And there's this thing called a Dyson Sphere. We need like a Dyson Sphere Hadrian's Wall. That'll keep everybody busy. We could just keep building the Hadrian's Dyson Sphere. And that would keep everybody really, really busy. Because if people aren't busy, they get all agitated and angry. You got to keep them busy, It's all bread and circuses, baby. Bread and circuses. And Hadrian's Wall. And, oh well. Well, I was thinking about that because, in terms of like Trump, I think is a narcissist. But I think he's a narcissist in that he's an aristocrat. And as an aristocrat, you walk around and you go, how's this going? You sort of make observations. You look at things, you're kind of snobby. You're like, these people are kind of working slow. These people, that's a nice area over there. That's a cheap area over there. You're judgmental. And an aristocratic narcissist is kind of judgmental. I think I got some aristocrat in my blood, so I could make an aristocrat's joke. I don't want to do an aristocrat's joke, but I could do an aristocrat vodka joke. I used to drink aristocrat vodka, so I'm an aristocrat. Yeah, that's a good joke I could do. I do have an aristocrat's joke. All my jokes are aristocrat's jokes. Actually, they're just not in the same format as the cliche aristocrat joke, which is, the cliche aristocrat joke is a family walks into and they all do disgusting things, and then at the end you're like, what do you call yourselves? The aristocrats. And that's the aristocrats cliche joke. And you try and fill it out. You try and go for 10 minutes. You try and go for 30 minutes. You try and go for 10 hours. You try and go for your entire lifetime could be an aristocrat's joke. That's kind of the meta joke of an aristocrat's joke. I'm not 40, but I'm getting close to 40. So my life has so far been how long? Close to 40 aristocrat's joke. Nice. So what are there? Oh, I already told you I'm not going to be able to make it on like production value. If I was going to be like a YouTube star, I would have to do it on content, and I don't have I know my production values suck. My voice sucks. I was listening to my voice. It's a shitty voice. I got to get a better voice. Maybe get a robot voice or an AI voice. And where was I going with this? I don't remember where I was going. Oh shit. Oh, my bit's gonna be my gimmick is gonna be my gimmick. I like gimmicks. Gimmick is like your MO, your cliche, your essence, the Romans, like, who are you? What is your joke? What is your... And my mom was gonna be, cars. It was gonna be cars. I was gonna be a car channel. I was gonna talk about cars, like how to take apart cars and how to fix cars and, shit like that. I'm joking, by the way. That's because a car was driving by, so I talked about cars. But the premise of the joke is, the premise of my channel would be, premise of my channel would be Mandela's. A Mandela was this black fellow from South Africa, but it's, when I say Mandela's, I mean like the Mandela effect, which is where you have a mundane thing and you don't remember a mundane thing very well. You know, because there's tons of mundane things in this world. You don't remember them, so they're like Mandela effects. Like, did the Monopoly guy have a monocle? That's a Mandela effect. And then there's Mandelas. Mandelas are like these, it's busy work. It's Hadrian's Wall, but with sand, and it's Buddhist. It's like a Buddhist Hadrian's Wall. You know, you spend 10,000 hours building a sand thing, and then you pour it in the, there we go. I'm gonna go this way or that way. There's a guy doing, what, I'm gonna go this way. You go, you know, because it's all just, it's busy. It's a Hadrian's Wall, but with a colored sand, and it looks like a rug. So my identity was going to be like, I'm the, and then my third one was going to be Mandingos, because that's related to pornography, and it's related to a large African peni. And so as you get, my three core pillars are going to be Mandela's, you know, random, who gives a shit facts. Mandelas, which are Hadrian's Wall but with sand. It's busy work to keep your brain busy. And then black cocks, which is symbolic of like bluntness or overly aggressive. Well, I don't know, what would it be? It would be, I'm a racist. It's basically, I'm a secret racist. So it's about racism, I guess. I'm a racist. So shit. What was going through my head earlier? I mean, like, because I argue with myself, even if there isn't a camera, I'm arguing with myself. So I figured I'd try and make some money out of it. Because, you know, like, you know, it's like, it's hard to do something where, like, you gotta have something you can do that you don't hate too much, you know. Like, I could see myself walking around talking to myself for a couple years, because I can do that already, because I'm already walking around talking to myself. So I'll try and make some money out of it. That's my logic. I don't think you can use modus operandi in this situation. I'm gonna say modus operandi though. So there's kids. I can't corrupt the kids. I gotta keep my language in a more kid friendly. So let's see. So that's my genius 100-year, 1,000-year plan. My thing that will keep me from. You gotta think big, you know. So. Oh well. Let's see. What was I thinking about earlier? I was thinking about, there's too many people around. I'm not waiting till the people are gone, then I'll go back to, you know, ranting and raving like a lunatic. Oh, I had a joke once where I was in a parking lot, like a gas station. There was this fella talking to himself. So my joke was going to be, if you could just give those people like voice recorders, they'd be, you know, people walk, you know, because I'm basically like that homeless guy who was walking around with a voice recorder, but I've got a camera, so I got a job, you know. So if you gave them voice recorders, they could walk around and they wouldn't be crazy anymore. They'd just be comedians. They'd be, I don't know, like what do you call that? Where like a YouTube streamer. I don't know. I had this other idea where it's like, the reason I'm doing this is, you know, because if I put it on like into video, it forces it into a medium, and that way I can't just, you know, I don't know if you call it suppress it, but you could call it like, oh, I guess, yeah, I did do that. Yeah, because that's one of my greatest abilities. I can forget things. I have the ability to forget things if I have to. It's a useful ability. It's a useful idiot ability. You don't want to be, if you want to be successful in this world, don't be a useful idiot. You want to be smart, and you want to learn from the past, not constantly be having the same mistakes happen over and over, which is, you know, I got that problem. I keep making the same mistakes over and over, so I'm going to try and learn something. I don't know, but I already know everything, so it's hard to learn when you already know everything. But but I'm gonna learn something this time, right? Yeah, I'm gonna learn something. That's the fantasy of this. It's, you know, instead of making the same mistake over and over, I'll learn something. I will learn something. There's something to learn. I will learn something. Oh, shit. Oh, there's a pond over there. Pond over there. Over there, there's a World War I song. Over there. My camera's still on? What does it say? It says, is it still working? This is a new program. So let's see, is it working? I think it is. Let's see. Going to see Dybert's gravestone. There's a Dilbert's gravestone is in Dybert Park. It's his wife. I don't remember her name. I've been there 2-3 times. I don't remember her name. You know, it's one of the Mandela effects. You know, I can't remember her name. I don't think that's the Mandela effect. I think the Mandela effect is when you misremember something, not just... It's a trivial fact. I don't remember her name because it does not matter, but I'm going to call it a Mandela effect because I'm going for a theme here. You know, themes are where you put things in themes. The theme would be like a color, you know, because there's like how many types of red are there? But they're red, right? Or there's blue, and there's how many types of blue? There's at least 2. There's like light blue and dark blue and navy blue, probably. And they're all blue, right? Or maybe. So, okay. Mandela was a guy from South Africa. He was played by Morgan Freeman in a movie. And he, there's like an apartheid in South Africa, which is like where they didn't have enough laundry detergent or something, because it's apartheid. I don't know. And so he got all the detergent into South Africa, I guess. That's what he was famous for. Good old Morgan Freeman got all the detergent into South Africa. It's a joke. I know who Mandela is. I know I have a rough estimate. He was something about something or other. I don't know. He invented the Mandela effect, because normally when something is named after a person, they invented it. I don't think he invented that, though. You know, because like if you got a scientist, they normally name the shit after themselves. You know, that kind of sucks for Mandela, because it's kind of like what got named after him is something, you know, I wouldn't want that named after me. I wouldn't want to. The Mandela effect is you accidentally remember something incorrectly, but it's like very trivial. So he got his name associated with something very stupid. You know, I guess it should have been something better. Oh well, poor Mandela. You got a shitty thing named after you. Ha 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 ha. The other Mandela, the famous ones are the Monopoly guy. There's one where the Berenstain Bears, which was like a kid's book, and people don't know how to spell it, so it's really important that you know how to spell the Berenstain Bears. And then there's one, Jaws, from the James Bond movie Moonraker, I believe. He was this like 8-foot tall monster, and he had like metal teeth, and his name was Jaws. And then he's gonna, in the movie, he's gonna like hook up with this little 5-foot girl, and in the movie she had like pigtails. And I think she had pigtails. And people think she had braces, but she did not have braces, because they're idiots, and they think she had braces, but she didn't have braces. And that's the Mandela effect, because it really mattered. You know, someone went back in time in history and they changed the movies. You know, because the way you remember movies was, you know, she had braces, but she doesn't have braces. So that's really important. You should know that. You should know who had braces and when, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, wow. Ooh, is this the tombstone of Dilbert? It's called Dybert, but I'm going to call it Dilbert. Dilbert Park. And here's the gravestone of Dilbert's wife. I wonder if she was a cartoon just like he was. Probably not. She was probably a person. She wasn't a cartoon. Oh, I had a joke about comedians. Carrot Top is this comedian. He's known as a prop comic. And a prop comic is a comic that uses props. So like if you had a pogo stick and you did jokes, maybe you'd be like a prop comic. Or Gallagher was this comedian a long time ago. I forgot to do this. I need to do this, but I haven't watched any Gallagher. But I know that he would take a hammer and he would smash a watermelon. And that was his bit, his little cheat. The people would bring these tarps and stuff, and they put the tarps over him, and they'd be like, "Oh, Gallagher's gonna hit a watermelon," and I have no clue if Gallagher's jokes were good or bad. I just know he hits watermelons. That's his essence. His essence is he's the comedian who hits watermelons, or maybe he did other things. Maybe he did other fruits. Maybe he did bananas. Maybe he did apples. But watermelons are. When I think of Dibert, her name was Lillian C. Dilbert. She lived, she died, she gave. I like that cartoon. That was a good little cartoon. Dilbert would go into an office. Okay, Gallagher. Gallagher. So I'm gonna watch a YouTube video of Gallagher to see if his comedy was good or bad, or did he make good observations, or was he just a hack who hit watermelons or cantaloupes or apples or bananas? I'm assuming he did all sorts of fruit. He was actually he was known for his poems. I don't know what he's known for. It's Gallagher. People, so I gotta do queen jokes. There's a baby. Baby. Never. Okay. Gallagher. YouTube says you're not allowed to upload. Is the voice of children so erotic that if someone was like I like to look at the YouTube child videos. Is the voice of children bad enough to get this video taken down? You say, oh man, I like to go on YouTube. Oh, I heard the little voice of the children. There's this Louis C.K. joke where he talks about how when he was a kid, he might have been like 13 or something. Some guy walked up to him and he said, "Hey, do you want to know the dirty words?" And he says the dirty words to him. And it's kind of weird because, imagine like a 30 or 40-year-old walking up to someone. What's the motivation of a 40-year-old doing that? And then he's also famous. He does this other joke where he compares almond joys, eating almond joys to, a very disgusting act. And my theory was what if it's not the act of, that act, it's the act of the shock value that because he thinks it's about the pleasure of it's the act of finding pleasure in shocking someone. Maybe that's what, and I'm not that thing, but I enjoy the shock value aspect. So, which will connect to a later. See, I have this joke in my head, because there's a famous philosopher called Socrates. Socrates had to drink hemlock because he was corrupting the youth, which on one hand could mean he was, the youth, and the other hand, it could just mean he was going up to the youth and saying, "Hey, do you want to hear some curse words?" Because he had to drink hemlock. And I don't know, that's a good question. Because I think there's just one theory I had where, maybe humans aren't supposed to know the past. Maybe we aren't really supposed to learn from the past. We're not supposed to look back and go, "Hey, this is kind of repeating itself." History, the Roman emperors would give people busy work, and they do bread and circuses. People today are doing bread and circuses and busy work, but don't go. You need to look at history like it's brand new. Like you were born into a special, unique time, and maybe not.
Technology can't really.
And then, okay, so what other jokes do I know? I think about pornography a lot. Not because, I guess I am technically a porn addict, but I think about porn. I started thinking about porn because, I think in the past 2 or 3 years, there was this lady named Cagney Carter, and she did this thing where she did a Hemingway impression. And let me pull back here. Let me pull this joke back. I'll get back to it. When I was younger, there was this poem by Charles Bukowski I really liked, and it was about 10 or 15 people from history and how they all did the Hemingway solution. And that's I thought it was cool at the time, but then it was like, I don't know, it's not. Where's this going? Oh, okay, so back to porn. So Cagney Carter, I think she was 18 around 2008, 2009. I think that's when she entered in, because you enter in when you're 18 or 19. And for 2 or 3 years, you're bright-eyed and idealistic, I guess. And, that's cool, I guess. But then I was thinking about it, the porn industry is terrible for women. I think my guess is most females in the porn industry, if you know how firefighters, they die a little more than normal people. The porn industry, that's probably like that. There's if you took all the jobs in the U.S. and you said what age does this person die? Firefighters, they pay a premium for shit like that. Not firefighters. People who cut down trees, they get killed a lot because the trees fall on them. There's dangerous jobs. Like a Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe has dirty jobs, but does he have dangerous jobs? Does he have one where this, over 50,000 people a year die doing this job? Statistically, 1 in 100 people here are going to die this month. That'd be kind of funny. You have a factory. Statistically, 1 in 100 of these people will die this month because it's a dangerous job. It's not a dirty job. It's a dangerous job. I just gave Mike Rowe a new show idea. Oh, well. Thank me later, Mike Rowe. Is it Mike Rowe? Mike something. He did dirty jobs, and it was a show about people cleaning up manure, and I don't know, it was plumber. It was plumbers, but worse. I don't know. I only watched a couple episodes. I'm sorry. My thoughts are not that concise or clear. Okay, so porn stars would have a higher death rate than your average worker, right? Because they get addicted to drugs. It's a dirty job. Mike Rowe should have done that. He would have been dirty jobs. Next on dirty jobs, porn star, and dangerous. And they could also be on dangerous jobs. So I bet statistically, because they have a high death rate in the 20s and 30s, and oh well, that joke's funny in my head. Maybe it's funny, maybe it's not funny. Oh, she did the Hemingway thing. She was 35, I think. She did the old Hemingway trick, and I kind of felt sad because I remember jerking off to her back in 2010. She wasn't bad, and then she got older. She was probably 25, 30. I think she died when she was 35. I don't know the exact number. And I saw there's a guy called Louis Theroux. He does documentaries. And she was in a porn documentary, and she was she might have been 30. She might have been 28. And she was fucking this 18-year-old kid, but the kid didn't have a job or anything. He was young. I don't know if he's 18. He might have been 20. And he would play video games, and he was living off of her. He was playing video games while she would do 100 scenes a year. She was probably more than that. I don't know. She was a busy worker. And then that kid would play video games. And, kind of felt bad for her almost. Because, imagine what was going through her head besides, the shotgun shell. She was 35. And, she was probably oh no. Because, she might have thought she was going to use the porn industry to get somewhere. You'll get into movies. I don't know what her story was. And then she found out she would try and go on JDate, or she would try and go on a dating site. And, you're not going to, dating a porn star is kind of a weird thing. I don't know if I could do it. Probably couldn't. I'm not that masculine of a guy. I think it takes a lot of masculinity to be the boyfriend of a guy, to a girl who's been with she'd probably done 1,000 scenes. I don't know if I could do that. Porn. My favorite porn star ever is there's this lady named Eve Lawrence, but I only liked her back in like 2005. And the reason I liked her is she had this like spunky attitude where like she came in and she was like, I got some guy to pay for my breast implants. She had like D's, and she was like, I got this guy to pay for. She had this like, she thought she was using people. She had this, and supposedly, I don't know if this is true, she thought she had like 140 IQ. And I'm not saying she's stupid. I think she was smart, but she was stupid though too, if that makes sense. Like a person can be stupid and smart at the same time. And she had that going for her. So 2005, 2006, Eve Lawrence is like prime best porn star ever. No, I mean like, she's still alive. She didn't do the Hemingway thing, but she has like some Twitters and shit. If you go look at it, it's just like sad. I feel sad. I wouldn't touch it with a pole now, not because of like sexuality, just because the lust, that I'm using life thing is gone. Now she's just like a old lady who's half crazy. She could legitimately have like 140 IQ, but she's I don't know what you call that. Just sad, I guess. I don't know. But I identify with it. I'm not making fun of her. I identify with her story. Like I could see myself like that. I could be like, hey, I thought I was going to use life, and then I find out later that the whole time the Roman emperors were, not cool, man, not cool. I don't have 140 IQ. I don't think I might have like a 120. I'm not Mensa. If you're in Mensa, maybe she knows she's in Mensa. There's some porn stars who like got out of it and they did real estate. I don't know. A lot of porn has like a gimmick. Like it'll always be like, I'm your real estate agent. I'm your naughty neighbor. I'm your what do you call it? Like plumber. It's a plumber, naughty plumber. There's what other ones are there? All the porno stories, right? Oh well. Where was that joke going? It wasn't really going anywhere. It was just porn's bad for women. It's a dangerous job. That's why they probably get paid a premium. They probably get paid a couple $1,000 an hour, but in the long run, they're trading their sex should mean something. I think that's actually true. I think sex should mean something. Anyone who's like free sex misunderstands that historically 99% of life that's ever existed, 99.999% of humans who have ever existed exist because a guy stuck a thingy in a lady, right? So that means something. There's one exception I can think of. I don't want to go into that right now. But 99.999. There's 8 billion people in the world, and probably like most of them, it came from a penis and a vagina, right? Like, or there's the thing where the guy jerks off into a cup and they mix the eggs together, and then they in vitro. I don't know what percentage of people are doing that. I guess it's less than 1%. So there's in vitro, and then there's sex, and that's where all humans come from. So when pornography takes something that it's about creating life and it turns it into something crass and vulgar, I guess. But I'm a First Amendment guy, so I shouldn't be against. I don't know. That's a good question. It's bad. So every time you watch porn, you're watching like a person commit suicide, or they're taking life off of their. It's like watching a person cut down logs. Nah, probably not. I like to watch guys cut down logs because I know that at any second a log could fall on them. NASCAR's kind of like that. Do the people who work in NASCAR have higher or lower death rates than the average human being? I don't know. Maybe they have higher, maybe they have lower. Because they make a lot of money, right? So if they do live, they live a long time, but they might die in a blazing fire thingy. It's not normally fire, right? They normally fly through the air. It's probably like a concussion thing and a smushing thing, not a fire thing. G thing, like a G-force thing. They go through so many G-forces that I don't know. I'm not a NASCAR expert, sorry. do 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 do. And an actuarian might know that. Actuarians would probably know the statistical death rates of occupations. What is the most dangerous occupation? A statistician, an actuarian? I don't like those actuarians. They put numbers on the stuff, and I don't like numbers. So, a serial killer who kills actuarians because they're collecting data. That'd be very. I don't know. That's not that good of a joke. Oh man, it's a little hotter than I'm wearing a t-shirt, a sweater, and an orange shirt. I wear an orange shirt so I don't get hit. And I'm wearing shorts, and I'm a little hot. That's not cool. So I'm at the mall. I'm at Dillard's. Here's the mall. Go to the mall. Go to the mall. Going to the mall. Our mall is like a third full, I would say. You know, because when I was younger, it was probably like 95% full. Now it's like 30% full. They took out some of the anchor stores. So if this mall's not careful, it's going to fly away or sail away because it won't have its anchors. You know, anchor stores keep a mall from floating off. So that's important to know. Lost the Sears. Lost the JCPenney. I always like going to them JCPenney's, you know, because they'll have these like 50% off clothes, and you're like, what is your markup? You can make a profit and you can mark your clothes off 50% off? What's going on here? Something's going on. Something doesn't add up. You're marking your prices up a bunch if you can mark them down 50%. You know, like, imagine going to like a car place. It's 2026, 25. It's 25 right now. It's January of 25. We're getting rid of the 2024s, 50% off cars. You know, that'd be pretty fucking cool. You know, I buy a car every year. I get them 50% off from last year. Fuck yeah. Cars, I mean, what do they do? They might do 10% off. They don't do no 50%. They don't do no 70% off. I want a 70% off car. Fucking, what's the business model of these clothing places? They must be getting it really cheap or something. I don't know. I'm assuming like the car companies, it's all like, I'm assuming they can only mark it up like 5% at most, right? Or because it's a very liquid market, right? Like wouldn't the car market be, because you know the internet, you can't go charging 5% more than someone 60 miles or 100 miles away. I think Tesla does that, doesn't he? Doesn't he sell it all from the main company? That's pretty smart. They deliver it to your house. None of that middleman bullshit. Middlemen, I don't like middlemen. Middlemen are middlemen, you know. So, are they planting shrubs or were those shrubs always there? Because they tore down the Sears. They're tearing down the Sears. There's rubble, but there's still rubble. And some walls are still up, but the ceiling's all gone. But the bushes are still there. So, that's cool. See ya, Sears. When I was a kid, you could buy a house off Sears. And that was back in the 1910s and 20s. You could buy a house off Sears. They deliver it, and they had these little Sears houses. So, Sears houses. The Sears catalog. Pretty big deal, you know. You order stuff out of Sears catalog. It was the internet before the internet, you know. You get your Sears catalog and flip through it, fantasize about, oh, I like that house. I want those jeans. Oh, it's a lot of concrete, the white concrete blocks, the cinder blocks, a lot of cinder blocks. So that's cool. Cinder blocks, bushes and cinder blocks. Dead porn. August Ames, I liked her. I think she killed herself when she was like 21, 22. She hung herself. She was pretty though. She was so pretty. Oh, why did she have to kill herself? She shouldn't have. She wasn't like 35. I can understand being 35 and doing it. That's 20, 22. I don't know how old she was. I think she was in for like 4 or 5 years. 2018, 2019. I think she came in 2014, so that'd be 5 years. 18 plus 5 is whatever. I'm guesstimating here. I'm doing guesstimations. I shouldn't know that, right? I shouldn't know. I think it was 2014, right? That tells way too much about me. Holy moly. I know shit I shouldn't know. Here's a helicopter. Is that a Chinook? I think that's a Chinook. It's got 2 blades. That's a fucking Chinook, baby. Chinook. You don't see a Chinook that often. I wonder why they're flying a Chinook around here. Conspiracy theory. They're landing SEALs or something. Or not SEALs, it'd be Army, it'd be Rangers. Or I don't think the SF use Chinooks. They probably use Blackhawks. I had a joke about, I got a ton of Donald Trump jokes because he's just easy to make jokes about. You know, that kid, there was that kid who did the stupid thing. I don't know his name. They didn't really publicize his name, but he had a UAV, and then he had like he had an AR-15 and a scope, and he used this little UAV to scout the area, but he didn't use the UAV while doing it. He used it like beforehand, I think to get ranges and shit. And I was thinking about this because like the Secret Service, those UAVs are filthy cheap. Like you can get like a medium to decent one for like $1,000 to like, you know, $5,000 or $10,000. You can get like really good cameras on them because it's a lot of the time it's about the camera, how good the camera is. You know, but the UAV could be like $1,000 with a $2,000 or $3,000 camera. I mean, that's my understanding. I don't know. I'm not a UAV expert. But here's the thing. Like I was thinking, the Secret Service should always have like 5 or 10 UAVs flying around, even when the president's giving speeches and shit there, because they're not that expensive. They're like 5 or 10,000, right? For a good, or like a really medium or good one, you could go up to like, you could go up a lot higher, you know. For 100,000, they could have 10 mediocre ones, or they could have like 2 $50,000 ones, or they could have 1.5, you know. You take the number and you divide it by 100. You get what I'm saying though, right? Like they have that kind of money to throw around. I'm surprised they don't have more UAVs and stuff for the Secret Service and stuff, because they're not that expensive. Like it's not, because back in the old days, old days when they shot a movie and they wanted to do something up in the sky, they had to hire a helicopter and a camera team, and now they can do that for like, I bet the movie companies can do it for like, their UAVs might cost $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. But you could probably do it for, if you were a handmade, if you were trying to Tarantino what's his first movie called? What's the first movie called where they steal the diamonds and then they go into the warehouse? Reservoir Dogs. You could Reservoir Dogs one for like $1 or $2K probably. You can put a decent camera on a UAV for $2,000. But back when I was a kid, you had to hire a helicopter, and you know, you'd have to pay a helicopter pilot, and you'd have to schedule it, and you know, kids have it so easy these days. Now you can just get a UAV to do it for next to free. Next to free. It's not free, but next to free. You still probably have to rent them. I don't know. But it's a lot cheaper. The price went down probably by 1/10 at least. It's 1/10 of the price of hiring a helicopter pilot, and because a helicopter pilot's probably a snobby little fuck. I'm a helicopter pilot. You gotta pay me by the hour. You know, you gotta do reservation, and then the helicopter gas would cost so much, and those fucking little UAVs, they run off batteries and shit. It's probably like 1/10 of the price. But it's cheaper than that even. Oh well, and you know, cops are gonna have that shit, because you know, you watch, when I was a kid, O.J. Simpson, he got stalked by a helicopter. He was trying to escape the police, so they had a helicopter chase after him. You know, in the future, because you know, it costs so much, you know what I'm saying, and that's like LAPD. They have, how many people live in LA? More than 1 million, right? I don't know the number, but 5, 10, 20 million, I don't know. It's a big city, right? So they had the money for a helicopter. The helicopter takes resources. The helicopter costs, I don't know, $500,000? I'm making a number up here. I don't know. And you have to pay a pilot $50 to $100K a year, probably more than that. And now you can just do it with, like the police could have a $50,000 UAV with a good camera. They could fly that around for 6 hours or 8 hours. I'm making up numbers here. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a lot cheaper. It's gonna be harder for O.J. Simpson to get away in his Bronco. I'm surprised you don't see more UAVs up in the air. It's like they'd be pretty reasonable and cheap. The old Batman comics, they had blimps. The police would go around in blimps and they'd shine spotlights. They'll put spotlights on UAVs and they'll fly them around, and it'll be a $20,000, $10,000 UAV with a spotlight going around. Are you up to no good? You up to no good, boy? You up to no good? Oh. You know why songs have choruses? It's because you gotta have something to fill in between your thoughts, I guess. So it's like the chorus. So that's when I'm sing choruses to songs. I just sing choruses while I try to think of jokes and make observations. So I'm an aristocrat. I'm allowed to make observations. I'm gonna wear my spacesuit, and you people will be up in. You'll be making the Hadrian's Dyson's wall, and I'll wear my spacesuit and I'll walk around and I'll be like, those people ain't working hard enough. You should be working harder. Space welder. You're welding your Dyson Sphere pieces together. Dyson Sphere pieces together. I'll have a little checkboard. I'll be in a spacesuit, like a space helmet. I'll be making little check marks and stuff. It'll be so fucking dope. These people are not. Check mark. Ooh, check mark. I'm gonna do that for an hour. I'm just gonna walk around saying check mark, like I'm a manager doing check marks on one of them check mark boards. Check mark boards. Do you have a check mark board? Do you have a check mark board? I like to find managers, and then I like to get a check mark board, and I like to follow them around and put check marks on a sheet of paper. But I'm not actually checking. It's just a sheet of paper with check marks on it. There's nothing actually. I'm not actually documenting anything. I'm just walking around following the guy who's. Every time he does a check mark, I do a check mark too. I just emulate his check marks. He did a check mark. He did a check mark. That's a good one. That's a keeper. If that was a fish, I'd keep that fish, right? Because it's a fish. Jokes are fishes. So you got to measure them and weigh them. And is that joke a keeper or a thrower? It's a keeper. It's long enough. I got to have like a ruler. I got to carry around a ruler and measure my jokes so that some of them you have to throw back, which sort of sucks, but some of them you get to keep. You got to weigh them. It's like deers. You shoot a deer. You got to measure it. And, ooh, aristocrat vodka bottle. Check mark. There's some alcoholism going on around here. Why are there aristocrat? It's a middle, but it's not a fifth. It's not a 350 and it's not a fifth. It might be a 500 milliliter. And it's plastic, so I don't know. Oh, I have an aristocrat joke. So my aristocrat joke is when I was younger, I used to drink a lot of. I drank some liquor for a while. I drank aristocrat vodka because it was cheap, and I got pretty good at it. I'd buy a handle. A handle is 1.75. It's 2 fists and a 1/3 fist. If you know what a fifth is. A fifth is 750 milliliters, so it's 3/4 of a liter. So it was 1.75 liters. Yeah. And I drink that over like 2 days. Maybe 2.5. Maybe 2.5. I don't know. It's a long time ago. I don't drink anymore, so I'm smart. Not because I would drink if I still could. It's just, it's exhausting, man. It's hard. hard to drink, and like I'm not young anymore. It's like when I was younger, I could drink and I could walk it off. Too old. I can barely get up now. I can't wake up in the morning with a hangover. It's too fucking exhausting, you know? It's just fucking exhausting. And I'm not that smart, but I'm one of those people who, when I'm drunk, I think I'm smarter than I am. So, I figured this out. I was like, I'm not that smart. So maybe if I don't get drunk, it'll help even out how stupid I am. So don't drink. Not because I'm against drinking. I don't think I was an alcoholic. I mean, I'm an addict, but I'm not an alcoholic. It's about finding an addiction you can stomach. So my new addiction is walking around aimlessly talking into a phone, which it takes all my energy up. It's my Hadrian's wall. It's my Hadrian. Is it Hadrian? He was in Britain. The Romans built it. Why didn't they just take over the rest of Britain? Didn't they have a big army? And then he realized maybe they needed the barbarians. You need barbarians to keep your society together. He's like, what if Rome took over all the world? They'd just be fucked, because they wouldn't have any barbarians to blame shit on. You gotta have barbarians to blame stuff on. Because those fucking barbarians. You gotta have an other. It's very important to have an other. Like back in the old feudal ages, I heard this story, I don't know if it's true, but the Jews, the kings would be like, the only people who can do banking are the Jews. And then like when everything goes to shit, the king could just be like, hey, it wasn't my policies, it was those. They go have a fun time, they'd have a pilgrim. Pilgrims are really fun to have. It could have been the king's policy, but it was those Jews, you know what I mean? So the kings were smart. They always had that pilgrim option. You gotta have pilgrims to keep your society together. Good old pilgrim. Sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I like to blame things on Jews. It just makes it puts a smile on my face. Like I've ran into branches before. You know who planted those branches there? The Jews. Fucking Jews, man. And this is the part where I drop like a hard K. I don't know. I don't feel like dropping a hard K right now, but a hard K. There's here's a good Donald Trump joke. It's there's the N word, and Donald Trump he's a narcissist, but I'm a narcissist, so I'm allowed to call him that. But if you're not a narcissist, you're not allowed to use that word. Only narcissists are allowed to use the word narcissist. And so I'm allowed to call Donald Trump a narcissist because I'm a narcissist. And but you people are not, like 90% of you people, 80, 90, 95% of you people are not allowed to use that word. That's a no-no word. That's a no-no word for you people. Because as a narcissist slash aristocrat slash, as a person who gets to look down on you tardos. I'm referring to the British TV show where there's a TARDIS. I'm not saying it's not a way of me getting around and saying another word. I'm talking about the TARDIS. The TARDIS. So tardos are people who do the TARDIS stuff. So I've never watched that show, so shouldn't use that word. I'm not allowed to use the word tardos because I've never watched a show with a TARDIS in it. TARDIS. Tardos. A lot of people are like, why is Donald Trump so because in my head, I imagine Donald Trump is like, he's kind of, when I say he's two-faced, I don't know, it's weird because there was this comedian who made this joke about how you wouldn't want to get a beer with Hillary Clinton, but you'd want to get a beer with Donald Trump. And here's the thing, Donald Trump doesn't drink. So first off, that's like saying, I want to drink with someone who doesn't drink. So was that a hidden joke he was making? Was he making a joke about how I'd like to get a drink with someone who doesn't drink? Which is, that's a good point, right? Because I'd like to get drunk with Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump does not drink, right? Because his brother wanted to be like an airline pilot, and he went down the alcohol path. So his brother, he was like, hey, my brother went down that path. I'm not going down that path. I worked for a guy at a cabinet place, and supposedly his father was a drunk, and he never drank alcohol once in his life. And, you know, it's one of those things where, like, you know, I guess good for you. You know, you learn from something, you know? So he's a smart guy. He didn't drink. You know, I don't know. So I had this joke about Donald Trump where I'm like, it's my Donald Trump drunk voice, because he doesn't drink. So the joke is, you know, that if he doesn't drink, part of the joke is he's not going to do this. And part of the joke is he's drunk. Because, you know, drunk people are funny. Because drunk people are stupid, right? And my drunk Donald Trump joke is he's really drunk, he's at a bar, and he starts bragging to you. You're sitting at the bar with him, and he's bragging, because, you know, drunk people brag, and he's like, because I tried doing this joke the other day, and I realized I'm not good at doing a drunk Donald Trump voice, but the joke is he would brag about how, hey, you know, we're taking Canada. You know, he wants to take Canada, he wants to take Greenland, Iceland, I don't know, one of those two, Greenland, and he wants to take the Panama Canal. And here's the thing, like, Democrats have been, like, for 10 or 20, 30 years, they've been talking about global warming. And my theory is I think Republicans believe in global warming, but I think they thought ahead. I think they're really smart. And here's the thing about Canada. Canada is 80% tundra. And it's like, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's all useless dog shit land. It's all very cold. It's like a desert. It's like an ice desert. And, you know, Russia's the same way. 80% of Russia is like useless tundra. Rough number. I'm a narcissist. I'm allowed to rough my numbers up a little bit. Give me some slack here, you know. Don't go holding me to exact numbers. And, you know, global warming is going to melt all of Canada and turn it into, like, you know, like a Nebraska maybe, or so my joke is Donald Trump is at a bar and he starts bragging to me about how, hey, I bought, like, you know, he bought a bunch of Canadian land for pennies on the dollar. You know, he bought it for, like, you know, $10 an acre, $100 an acre, and he bought like a hectare. An acre is a unit of land, and then a hectare is a unit of, like, a bigger unit of land. He bought like hectares. He bought like Texas-sized Canada land grabs, okay? And all that land's gonna be worth, like, it's gonna, you know, 10 times in price. Because, you know, he's smart. That's the joke. The joke is, but Donald Trump doesn't get drunk, and he's not going to brag to me about what he did. He doesn't give a fuck what I think. He's fucking not, he doesn't brag. If you're smart, you don't brag. Hey, you know, here's another Donald Trump reference. He owned a casino. Think about this for a second. You own a casino. People come into your casino, and he gets, like, if people spend $100 million at the casino, he gets, like, you know, if they gamble $100 million, he gets like 1% or 2% of that. Because the house gets a percentage of the cut, right? Or it statistically gets, if $1 billion is gambled at a casino, he gets like 1 or 2 or 3% of that. So he's a snob. He's looking down at you. He looks down. He's like, these idiots come to a casino, and he just gets to collect like that penny. He's like the Superman 3 villain, but he's better than that. He's pennies on the dollar. You know, he's just constantly making pennies off of your stuff. So, I mean, how can he not be a condescending asshole? I would, in his head, I mean, not out loud. Out loud, he's a nice guy. I watched that 3-hour Joe Rogan podcast. He came off very well. But, you know, in the back of my head, he's an aristocrat. He knows you people need your fantasies, your casinos. How could you not own a casino and be a snob? I mean, inside, not outside. Outside, you would not be a snob. Outside, you'd wear a suit, and you'd be like, yes, sir, did you like your room? I hope you liked your room. Did you like the buffet? I hope you liked the buffet. Oh, well. And then again, that's all businesses. That would be Facebook, too, like Zuckerberg. He's laughing at you. You know, he collects a penny off of every dollar on Facebook, right? And, you know, Amazon probably does the same thing. Bezos, he's laughing at you. Who else is? They aren't literally laughing at you, but their houses are paid for by your pennies, I guess. But then again, before Bezos, there was Walmart, and Walmart put all those mom and pop shops out of business. And because when I was in the 90s, it was Walmart was putting all the mom and pop shops out of business. And now it's Amazon. I guess Walmart is still a big dick in the ocean, right? Yeah, Walmart could put up a fight against Amazon probably. I don't know the numbers. I don't know their values, but they probably still have some blue whale energy dick. Hey, they're blue. Walmart's blue, so they're a blue whale. So they got a blue whale. Because swinging dick is an analogy of power level. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, you have a power level. So dick swagger, dick size is your DBZ analogy of power. Over 9,000. Et cetera, et cetera. It shouldn't do et cetera, et cetera. I think that's derivative. There's this comedian in 2015 or 2016. I actually kind of liked him. I told you the notebook joke where Bo Burnham would pull out a notebook and he would show the pages and they were empty. And he was pretty funny. I thought he was funny, but then I was thinking of this joke. He does this devil sucking the devil's cock joke. And the joke is, it's kind of a Faustian joke. It's a joke about Faust and how you sell your soul to the devil and you get power or money or fame or something. Insert reference to greatest song in the world. You ever heard that song by Tenacious D? They sell their soul to write the best song in the world or something, or it's an old story. It's a Faustian story. It's a Goethe story. It's a story. Marlowe, I think, did it. It's probably older than that. It's probably an old wives' tale or something. Like sell your soul to the devil. Back in the 1200s, if you sell your soul to the devil, you can get all the serfs you want. I don't know. Oh, well, I was thinking Bill Hicks did that joke back in the 1990s. He did a joke where he compared New Kids on the Block to selling their souls to Satan, and then he would do this really cool bestial voice. Get a cool bestial. He'd go, "Roar." I can't do it, but he did that joke, and I was like, what a joke thief. I don't know, maybe he stole the joke, maybe he didn't. I don't know. I've never written an original joke in my life, so I can't call people joke thieves because all my ideas are stolen, so fuck it. I need to come up with a joke that's original. Second, because one theory would be when you say someone is doing dirty with the devil, are you just jealous of him? That guy sold his soul to the devil, or he worked hard, or he sold his soul to the devil. It kind of breaks the person down into something smaller than they are, probably. I don't like that guy. He sold his soul to the devil. Okay, relax. Get back into a groove. Get into a groove. Get a chorus going. Get a chorus going. Get a chorus going. Here's a dual branded Fairfield Inn and Suits. What was it? No Cure for Cancer. They accused Dennis Leary of stealing his jokes from Bill Hicks. Everybody's stealing. And then he probably stole that from someone else. And then it's just a bunch of joke theft. No one's coming up with new jokes. There's no new jokes. They've all been done before. It's all you just have to be really charismatic and deliver it like you own it. That's the key to telling a joke. It's not about the content of the joke. Judge not my jokes by the content of their jokes. Judge them by the presentation and charisma by which I express my jokes. I think Martin Luther King said that. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Misquote people. That's fun. To be fair, they supposedly Donald Trump was going to release the files on JFK and Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King is one of those weird ones where he got martyred, and because he got martyred, it saved him in a way maybe, because he would have just been, imagine an 80-year-old Martin Luther King he he would have just been the same. He would have been a broken record, always talking about the same stuff, and he was kind of a Marxist in a way, or communist, not Marxist, but. And then he gets martyred, so he becomes like, it whitewashes him of all his sins, because like he was like fucking hookers supposedly. You know, it's a very, either that or that's a smear campaign. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You want to smear people. That's the key to this world. Smear people. You gotta learn to throw mud. Throw as much mud as you possibly can. It's a dirty hog world. Throw some mud. Throw some mud. Oh well, you know, they did that joke on the Boondocks, I think, once, where like Martin Luther King came back to life and he was just annoying. It's like thank God he got martyred. You know, for civil rights. I mean, like if he would have lived, it would have been bad for civil rights. That's the point I'm making, and I'm not saying it's good he got shot. I'm saying it's good for civil rights he got shot, because he would have just been an annoying guy he would have been like an Al Sharpton or any of those people who are just really annoying. I gotta make sure to I don't want people thinking I'm a righty or a lefty. I want to stick my foot in my mouth for both sides, you know. I want to make sure the right and the left both want to throw rocks at me. Secretly, my deepest fantasy is to be stoned to death. You know, I don't care, right or left. You know, I don't care. I want the king to quarter and section me and display my 4 sections in the 4 corners of London or DC or I don't care where. I just want a good old martyr's death. Good old, oh wow, that is a big carcass. Is that a deer? It's got to be a dog at least. It's a dog probably. Dog carcass. I don't want to be all... Who was the guy who went to the Japanese forest and found the dead people? I'll be like him, but I'll be with that with like carcasses of animals. I wonder if they let... You know, YouTube's really weird because YouTube has this shit where like they do this shit where these ladies will do try-on videos, and that you can basically, it's transparent clothes now, so you can basically see the nipples and the camels. And YouTube sort of allows it. It's very odd. It's, you know, YouTube's gotten very lax, I guess. They're lazy on their censorship. You know, I guess they have to compete with Pornhub and all those other... Now the Pornhubs and stuff are doing the age verification, which is like, you know, that's a lot. I don't want to give, you know, photo verification of my age to a porno website. That's not cool. Who's responsible for that? I'm against that. Now I'm gonna be... I don't know. This joke's not going anywhere. They do it based on I need to get one of them Nord VPNs, I guess. You know, so I can hide my IP location, and then, you know, I think Pornhub is in business with the Nord VPN to sell Nord VPN subscriptions, so that, you know, it's a con. They're in business together probably. I have no evidence of that. I'm just throwing it out there as what's the Latin term for who benefits? There's a Latin term for, you know, look who benefits, and then that's why it happened. I don't actually believe that. I just think it's conspiracy theories. I like conspiracy theories. I'm a big fan of them. I like to make them up. I just, you know, I don't like other people's conspiracy theories. I like to make my own up. Like, you know, like there's the moon landing. You know, a lot of people believe the moon landing didn't happen, and JFK was shot by, you know, I don't know who shot JFK. Who shot? What was the Dallas? Who shot? Someone shot someone. Is what I remember. I don't remember who shot who. Someone shot someone, and it was a big deal in Dallas. Was it Dallas? Yeah, it's probably Dallas. He was the guy who supposedly shot JFK was a fun guy. He went to like Russia for like a year. He was like in Leningrad or something, and but then before that, he was like an Ayn Rand follower. You know, that's a weird. How do you go from liking Ayn Rand to like being a communist? That's some weird shit, man. Yeah, he might have just been crazy. That's my theory. I don't think he believed in any of the shit he said. I think he was just a crazy motherfucker. He needed to be given like a little thing to speak into. If he would have had something to speak into, like a video camera and a YouTube subscription, he would not have. That's a terrible joke. Because then he would have realized, you know, he would have looked at his YouTube library and he would have been like, hey, like a year ago I was supporting Ayn Rand and now I'm supporting communism? What? Hey, am I crazy? Am I crazy? I was supporting Ayn Rand a couple years ago. Now and then the next day he's a Nazi probably, and then the next day he's probably a Black Panther, and then the next day he's probably like in the KKK, and then, what was that guy's name? Lee Harvey Oswald. Oh well, poor Lee. Conspiracy theories. So I like to make my own conspiracy theories up. A lot of them are very trivial. They don't really matter. They're just random. They aren't as big of a deal. They aren't about like presidential assassinations. They're about, you know, I got a conspiracy theory. Here's my conspiracy theory. No, it's not. This is not a conspiracy. This is me rebuking a conspiracy theory. Because I like to rebuke conspiracy theories when they're not right. Like in the 70s, there was this guy named Francis Ford Coppola, and he made this movie called The Godfather. And The Godfather is about the mafia. And you know, I watched The Sopranos back in like 2006 or 7. And you know, mafia movies are very important to American culture. Let me tell you something. Use your brain, people. Think about this for a second. First off, I've met Italian people. Italian people are the stupidest, retardedest people I've ever met. So how could Italian people do organized anything? You know, they couldn't organize anything. So I don't believe in the mafia. I don't believe in Cosa Nostra. I think it's a conspiracy theory made up by the elites to, you know, like, you know how like places will burn down and stuff? And people will be like, it's the mafia. There's no such thing as the mafia, okay? People are just not, a lot of managers are not doing their checklists on fire safety stuff. You know, it's very important you do your checklists on fire safety and, you know, what else? The conspiracy, you know, the mafia, you know, the people will go into the river at night and you know, people are ostracized because if you have a fetish for wearing concrete shoes, you know, you'd be embarrassed to wear them in public. So you go out on your boat at night and you see how good your legs look in a pair of concrete shoes, and then you accidentally fall in the water. You know, and if we would get rid of this, if we would stop ostracizing people for liking to wear concrete shoes, you know, people wouldn't fall in the river wearing concrete shoes and stuff like that. And, you know, it's very important because, I mean, use your brains, people. You know, like Italian people are some of the dumbest people I've ever met. And I've never met a smart Italian person in my life. I mean, think about it. For the joke I'm going to tell you is a parable. And to understand this joke, first off, I already told you, I don't believe in the mafia. But to understand this joke, you have to have seen The Godfather, or you have to know about like The Sopranos and how there's this, you know, this bullshit thing called the mafia, which doesn't exist. But for my joke to make sense, you have to believe in the mafia. And so my parable, my story, is about there's a frog mafia. So there's like the Frog Father. You've heard of The Godfather? So there's the Frog Father, and he's the head of the frog, Cosa Nostra, which I've already told you. And you know, it's very similar to Americana mafia movies. They're involved in loan sharking. They're involved in I guess pimping. So they pimp the young frogettes. They pimp, they sell smack. When I was a kid, there was a cereal called Smacks, and it had a frog on it. I'm trying to go for a Smacks joke because it had a frog. They sold cereal. But smack is also a slang term for heroin, right? Never done heroin, so let's see. And what else were the frogs involved in? The frog mafia. They were involved in, just mafia shit. Yeah, land deals. They did some land deals by the river. Like one season of the Sopranos, they did a land deal by the river, I think. They buy up the land cheap, and then they know it's going to get turned into something, and then they can sell it for a higher price. It's a trick they do in the Sopranos. Housing, HUD scams. They probably do HUD scams, but you'd have to change the lily pad scams. Maybe they do lily pad scams. I don't know. I'm filling stuff in here. I'm not a mob. That I don't study that fake mafia that much, but so they want to do this land deal down by the river, the frog mafia, the frog father, and there's this guy. He won't sell his land, because he's a holdout. There's always a holdout. You've probably tried to buy an apartment complex or a condo complex, and someone won't leave. So you have to put pressure on them, That's what the frog mafia was about. So this guy won't sell his land. He won't sell his... But they've got 90% of the land, but they need this one place. He won't sell it. So the frogs they're smart. You have to understand. The people in the mafia are actually kind of smart. They're not dumb. So they have some tricks up their sleeve. The frogs have some tricks up their sleeve. Tricks were about rabbits, so I can't really do a tricks joke, but tricks, silly rabbit. This is a frog joke, not a rabbit joke. So if you know anything about frogs are very smart. Frog mafia is very smart, and they had gambling rackets. They had people in debt to them. If you know anything about the hypothetical mafia, they want you in debt to them. The money is made off something called the vigorish or the bleed. The bleed is where you, let's say you owe $10,000, they'll charge you maybe $1,000 a week or $500 a week, and that's a bleed, because you have to pay them every week, whether So they always have they always have some dumb frog on the bleed. They're like vampires, I guess, if you want to use a vampire analogy. And these frogs, they have this guy, he's in debt, he's way up in debt. He ain't going to pay his money back, and they know that. They know, but they keep him alive because it's useful to have people like that. It's useful to have people that are so in debt to you that they'll do anything you want them to do. So, and if you know anything about frogs really care about their young. They dump like 50, 100, they dump like 1,000 tadpoles in the water, and then they just sort of swim off. So the frogs go up to this guy who's in debt to him a bunch, and they say, hey, you ain't gonna pay us back, man. We need our money. And this frog, he starts crying. He's like, oh, no, don't kill me. I'll do anything you want. And they say, hey, you might not know this, but frogs, you ever been to like a grocery store? How they sell like frog legs? You know where frog legs come from? Now. They'll cut your legs up and sell them to the grocery store. And the frog legs aren't enough to pay for his debt, but they say, hey, we know you have a couple hundred kids. We're going to take your kids and we're going to take their legs off too. We'll sell them to Aldi's or the grocery store. Not Aldi's. I don't think Aldi sells them. But, a grocery store. And they'll get their money that way. And he's like, please don't kill my kids. I'll do anything you want. Because he's a frog, I guess. And they know he's going to say something like this. So they say, we've got a mission for you. We'll forgive you of your debt, but your kids can live, but you will die. And the frog says, oh, I love, thank you so much. Thank the frog father. He's such a benevolent and caring frog father. Frog father. Da, 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 da. Let me put some ribbits in there. Da, 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 ribbit. And fast forward to they whisper some shit to each other. Fast forward to the next day. And that landowner guy who I was telling you about, he was down by the river. He wouldn't sell his land. So his son lived across the river. And that morning he found out his son or daughter, I don't know, something bad. It could be a daughter. Which would be better, a son or a daughter? A daughter got given the old beat up, or the son got the old beat up across the river. And he was in the hospital. So this scorpion gets out of his den. He owns, he's had that den for tens, hundreds, thousands of years. I don't know. I don't know how long do scorpions pass their dens down between scorpion generations. So the scorpion goes down to the river and he's like, I gotta go see my, he's distraught. He's sad. His son or daughter got beaten up across the river. He's got to get across the river. So he goes to the river's edge, and one of the side hustles a lot of the frogs do is they'll give rides across the river. So guess who's down there? The frog who was a bunch in debt, and he gives him a ride, and he's halfway across the river, and the frog bites down on a capsule the frogs gave him, and they both sink to the bottom of the ocean. And that's the tale of the frog and the scorpion. It's an old parable. It's a parable as old as time. It's a pretty famous parable. You people should know about don't trust frogs, That's the moral of the story. The good scorpion, the evil frogs. So, it's a parable. Oh, and the frog father, after the scorpion died, the frog father did. He said the scorpion bit the frog. People believe that. People are so gullible. They believe that the scorpion bit the frog. And then, the frog father, he did like a scholarship for all the kids of remember that shitty father who had like 1,000 kids and he was in debt a bunch. Well, the frog father got in really close with those kids. He helped them out. He helped them get through the grieving process. And he's a nice guy, nice frog father. Da 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 da. But I don't believe in the mafia, so we all know that. The mafia doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a mafia. No Cosa Nostra. Some Italian people are going to beat the shit out of me now. I think there is a mafia, probably. I don't know, but I like the idea of a joke where, like, imagine going up to, like, one of those, like, those Gaudis, not played by not Val Kilmer, but, who is a Grease guy. He ruined it. I'm surprised John Travolta didn't get whacked for making that Gotti movie. Don't make fun of the mafia. Don't be enemies with the mafia. Oh, well. Da 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 da. I think I hope that's an original joke. I swear to God, I put effort into that parable, and if someone did that joke before me, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, man. Imagine you put all that effort into a joke, and you're like, someone did that joke already, dude. Someone already did. It's a reverse joke. Like, I had this joke in my head once where, if you've ever seen the movie The Usual Suspects, The Usual Suspects has an ending where, like, this guy who was pretending to be a gimp, he's actually like a mastermind mafia boss kind of character. He's a Kaiser Sose. And I had this joke in my head because, like, 90% of humor is just you reverse shit. You take something and you flip it. So my joke was, like, what if at the end of The Usual Suspects, the cop was evil and the cop was stealing all these things from his office, and he was associating them with Kaiser Sose. And then I Google, like, Usual Suspects parody reverse, and these two stupid black comedians had already done the joke. I don't like them. These Key and Peele, don't like them. They took my joke. I mean, they took it before me, and they did the joke better than me too. I really don't like that. I don't like those people. I don't like black people because they stole my joke, I'm a racist because I don't fucking jerks. fucking. And they did. The best part was I actually want they had a poster in it. It's I'm getting too old for this shit. I want that poster. I want a poster that says I'm getting too old for this shit. And as a guy sitting on a toilet. Because in the old cop movies, there would always be an elderly black cop played by Daniel Glover, and he would always go, "I'm getting too old for this shit." And I want that as a poster. That's the coolest poster ever. Someone needs to make that. I'm getting too old for this shit. Oh well. Terrible. None of your jokes are original. There was this guy named Newton, and he was sitting under a tree, and an apple hit him supposedly, and he came up with like gravity and calculus and all this shit because he was smart because back in the old days, people thought that you throw an apple on the ground, it stops moving. You throw something and it stops moving. So this Newton guy was like, an object in motion stays in motion unless an opposite force has acted upon it. And then you look at Earth and like everything stops. If you throw a rock, it stops moving pretty fast. You throw an apple, it stops moving pretty fast. But you look at the planets, and the planets keep moving. They ain't like Earth, The suns and stuff, they always move. I don't know why they move, but they move. So he was considered a genius because he connected apples to the planets, I guess. And then he invented calculus, which is about derivatives. And derivatives are, I was telling you about derivatives, how that one joke that Bill Hicks did is a derivative of the Faustian bargain. And then Bo Burnham did a derivative joke off of a Bill Hicks joke. It's all just derivative bullshit, but, So, Newton puts this calculus bullshit to his desk. And then like 10 or 20 years later, this Leibniz fucker, he's like, look at me, I invented calculus. And then Newton comes out and he's like, I invented that 20 years ago, you stupid idiot. Imagine being like Leibniz, how disappointed you'd be. I thought I invented calculus. And I didn't. I'm just a derivative of... But the guy kept it in his desk. What an asshole. My voice hurts, I need water. No, it doesn't hurt, it's gonna hurt, maybe, eventually. It's getting hoarse. Derivative jokes. Calculus derivative jokes. Oh well, what other jokes do I know? I just wanted an excuse to walk around. Need an excuse. Fresh air? Yeah, baby. Shooters, I didn't do my shooter joke. I'm just gonna walk around now. I'm not letting my voice. I need to get a better voice. I need to get a voice thingy. Voice box? Oh well. Walk around. Flag? The flags are still at half-mast? I don't know what that's about. Is that half-mast? How long do you do the Jimmy Carter death thing? Inflatable whaling flag man, inflatable tube man, flag at half mast, green beetle. What else is there? Yeah, see, the excuse of this is, when you walk around, you can do some filler time. You can hum a song, I guess. Hum a song. You can't hummus a song. See, so all the narcissists are actually aristocrats. They come from like the pharaohs. The pharaohs were like, because they got the people to believe they were gods. Like King Louis from France, he got people to believe he was the sun god. That's got a weird story, isn't it? Like, are you people stupid, or do you just like nod your head? Yeah, you're the sun god, Louis. You're the sun god. Sun god. Yeah, sun god. Okay there, Pharaoh. You're the Pharaoh. Yeah, Pharaoh. Pharaoh, nod my head, yeah, You're King Ramses or whatever. Then again, you gotta keep the people busy, and they built pyramids, so they had their fences to build, so I don't know, maybe they are. Maybe they're ahead of their time. Behind it. I wish that. I don't know. I'm not gonna upload it. Am I gonna upload that? See, I bought a voice recorder because I didn't want to walk around just talking to myself, so I had a voice recorder I could talk into. But you can't upload voice recorders to YouTube. You have to have a video. So I have to do this, and then I was doing videos, and the videos would be like 10 gigs an hour. Because I'm not a phone person. I don't know how phones work that well. And I spent like 5 or 10 minutes, and I got frustrated. So I said, fuck this, and I just kept making like 10 gig. I made probably like 10 hours of 10 gig per hour videos. And I was like, I tried uploading one to YouTube, but that's way too much work. I don't have a upload connection for that. So, and then I found a program this morning. I don't know how big these files are going to be, but I think it's going to be smaller. Hopefully it's smaller. 100 KB a second that might still be pretty big. I gotta find a way to make it smaller, I guess. This is gonna be 10 gigs. This is gonna be 10 gigs an hour too, I bet. There's this program called FFmpeg or something. You can take a 10 gig per hour video and turn it into like a 1 gig per hour video. But it's like a pain in the ass, and then like Python, you keep saying that I didn't install Python. But I installed Python, so I'm like really lazy. It's just so much fucking work, man. Too much work. I just want to walk around and talk to a camera. I don't want to install Python and try and fix FFmpeg. You have to use like command prompt and shit. Fuck that. I'm lazy. I want my GUI. You know what a GUI is? A GUI is a graphical interface. People should know what a GUI is. You people. Let me get my checkboard out. I'll get my checkboard out. Start making checks. Checks. Got my checkboard out. Making checks. Ah, yes. The wind in my hair, the sun on my head, someone doing something on a red tractor. Red tractor, how are you today? Checkboard. Fever. Is that fever? What is a fever? I don't think 100 KB a second is going to be that smaller of a video. That would be a meg every 10 seconds. A meg every 10 seconds. So a meg. So 60 megs a minute. 60 times 60 would be 60 megs a minute, right? 60, is that 60 megs a minute? Or is it 6 megs a minute? 60. Shit, I can't do math in my head very well. Let me think. 100 megs a second, 100 kb a second would be 10 seconds would be, so 10, it'd be 6 megs a minute, right? 6 megs a minute. 6 times 60 would be 360 meg an hour. Right? That's right, isn't it? 360 meg an hour. And that's a third of a gig. So that's going to be good. That'd be less than a gig for 2-3 hours. Right, I think that's right. Let me do it one more time. 100 kb a second. 100. So that's a meg every 10 seconds. 10 times 6. So 10 times 6. So 60 megs a 6 megs. Whatever, I'm too tired to do math. Too tired to do math. I hope it's gonna be like a gig instead of 30 gigs. Can you imagine a 30 gig file? Trying to upload a 30 gig file? Holy fucking shit! Such bullshit. I don't even, honestly, I don't even want to put my face in it, because. But then I thought, if I did it without faces, people would be like, he's a pussy. He won't put his face to his videos. Because there's got to be two internets. There's got to be an internet where you can just say anything. But there needs to be an internet where, like, your name has to be associated with it, I guess. There was some book written by like a Mormon guy, but it's a really good book. It's called Ender's Game, and they had like the internet in there, and they had these anonymous accounts, and they the people would fuck with the world using anonymous accounts. One of them was named like Locke, which is a famous philosopher fella. It's a good book. I mean, it's not a bad book actually. That and the Bean book are pretty good. You can read those. They give it to the Marines to teach them like leadership. And it's not a bad book because like the guy's in a bat. It's about like these 10-year-olds or 8-year-olds, and like this one guy's being a bully, so he breaks the guy's arm, and he's like 8. It's a pretty fun, good, cool book actually. And the Bean one's even weirder because he's like 1 year old and he's like hiding in a toilet top. It's so it's stupid, but it's cool. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's kind of unreasonable, but it's also decent, I guess. Oh yeah, I remember a joke I was going to tell. There was this YouTube channel called cracked.com, and there was this joke about the humors. And the humors are like, there's 4 types of people in the world. So like there's the Ninja Turtles, there's like the red one, the blue one, the Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo. Leonardo had like 2 swords. He was the leader. And the leader is like leadership bound, he's loyalty bound. This is their stuff. I'm not adding anything yet. And Donatello was a nerd, so he did computer shit. He was like, everybody knows nerds. And then there was Michelangelo. He was orange and he had nunchucks. And then there was Raphael, and he had these, it was like a knife with 2 small knives on the side, katanas maybe, I don't know what they call those. I mean, I used to play RuneScape, and then there was a weapon in RuneScape where you could have a sword and a shield, and then you could have a sword and a dagger shield. It was like a dagger shield. It was a sword breaker shield. It was a sword breaker sword, but it was a defensive sword. So this guy carried around 2 defensive swords, maybe? Like a sword breaker? I don't know how those work. If Leonardo was such a leader, didn't he have like 2 swords? Like, wouldn't he have given one of his swords to someone else? Like, hey man, I don't need 2 swords. You could use a sword, and then we could both have, because nunchucks seem kind of stupid. And maybe Raphael and Leonardo, he could have a sword and a sword breaker. I don't know. And then, I don't know, or would you give it to Michelangelo? Because, like nunchucks, it's hard to kill someone with nunchucks. You could kill someone with a sword. You could kill someone with a sword breaker. And then the nerd just had a wooden stick. You probably couldn't kill anybody with a wooden stick. I don't know. But the wooden stick would have, like, range, right? So you could outrange people with your wooden stick, but I don't know, that's humors, and everything in life is like a humor. That's what they should teach the people in elementary school and stuff. You should, if you want to be a leader, you got to learn what humor a person is. Is this person a Michelangelo? Is this person a Donatello? Is this person a Leonardo? Is this person a Raphael? You got to group people up, put them in their color groups. Where was this joke going? I was thinking about they have the kids. They were, Trump's president now, and they got rid of DEI, and DEI stands for diversity, equity, inclusivity. inclusivity. And, if you're a liberal, you got to do DEI, DIY. You got to do it yourself now. You can't get the government to do it. I thought that's not that good. Well, the conservatives were angry that these 5 and 6 year old kindergartners, they'd have a transvestite, a guy in a dress, reading nursery rhymes to kindergartners. And they didn't like that because, it's a very, you can probably brainwash a 5 or 6 year old kid into anything. And my idea was, I think they need to get I think we need to get the 5 and 6 year olds, because when I was in the fifth, when I was that old, I think we were doing colors and shapes. We probably did colors and shapes and vowels and consonants maybe, and I don't remember what exactly I did in kindergarten, but it was probably colors and shapes. I was thinking, what they need to do is they need to get a college professor in a tweed sweater, and he goes down there, and we need to teach 5 and 6 year olds about epistemology. Because, you need to know what is true and what is not true. And you should be getting taught those, fancy words when you're, in kindergarten. You give the college professors, the epistemologists. Because, the kids need to know when is something a conspiracy theory, when is something complete bullshit. They don't need to be learning colors and shapes and shit. They need to be learning epistemology. It's not that funny. What should the little 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds? When I learned my numbers when I was a kid, we learned Christian numbers. And Christian numbers, it goes 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 4. You thought I was making a conservative joke, and I just threw mud in your face. And then when we learned our multiplication tables, we learned Terrence Howard's 1 times 1 is 2. Postmodernist bullshit, in my opinion. Postmodernist bullshit. Singing a song, not really. Just being annoying. I like being annoying. It's fun. It's my hobby. The world's most annoying person. The world's most annoying person. The world's most annoying person. Hey, that's me. One of my favorite joke I did, I think I did this joke. I hope it's my joke. I hope all my jokes are my jokes and none of my jokes are someone else's, but maybe I'm controlled by the CIA and their UAVs. Maybe I need to put an aluminum foil hat on my head. I don't know. Oh, I argue with people in my head. So I got a Jordan Peterson joke. I want to do this joke so bad. I want to know what his reaction would be. Because his thing is he doesn't like trainees. He thinks they're ruining the world. He thinks it's all because I was born in 1986. And I was 4 or 5 or 6. The Soviet Union fell apart. The Soviet Union was it was a 45-year Cold War. It was a war that went on for I think 45, 46 it started. It ended in 1990-ish. It was a 45-year war. It ended when I was 5. It's a pretty big deal. You think that's a big deal, right? I mean, you think you'd have parades, everybody would be happy. The Cold War's over. There was this Japanese fella called Francis Fukuyama. And he thought it was the end of history. Little did we know that with the fall of the Soviet Union, they would underminedly give us postmodernism. That is Jordan Peterson's thesis. And, he says, where does all this postmodernism come from? Because, when I was a kid, there was 2 sexes. And I think I read a book. I think I heard a thing on NPR once about, there's the hermaphrodites, but they're less than 1%. And, when I was a kid, things were simple. Now there's 50, 100, 10,000 genders. But back when I was a kid, there was 2 plus hermaphrodites, which were a small percentage. I don't know. And his thesis is that
with the death of communism, the communists had to put their energy somewhere, so they put it into postmodernism. And postmodernism teaches that there's like a near infinite number of sexes. And at first, I really liked this idea. I was like, that's a smart idea, dude. I like that. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, hey there, friend. You know where all this, you know where all this bundle of sticks stuff comes from? I'm going to call it bundle of sticks, which is a slang term for a bundle of sticks. And you know where all this bundle of sticks stuff comes from? 2,000 years ago, there was this weirdo, and he identified as they, them, okay? That's where all this postmodernist bullshit comes from, okay? It's not communism, that's where the postmodernist bullshit comes from. You want to get rid of bundles of sticks? Yeah. I don't know, I don't actually believe that. I like the conviction of saying it. Like I actually believe it, just to troll. It's a troll joke. It's a joke where I don't believe it, but I just want to point out that this stupid shit you hear has been around for thousands of years. This isn't some new shit. That, like, what half of Americans believe in some they, them bullshit. They, them. Whatever. I can milk that joke a little better, but I don't know. I don't want people to think I'm actually a lefty, because I don't think I'm a lefty. Maybe I am. Probably am a lefty. Damn it. I'm a righty. I'm a righty in the sense that, like, I want the cult to revolve around me, you know? Like, I don't care. I'd be a pharaoh. If I could be a pharaoh, I'd be a pharaoh. I'd have the people build pyramids, and you gotta give the people some pyramids to build. Oh, well. If I was born in like 1830, and I was born in the South, and I was going to inherit a couple hundred of them John Deere people, I bet I'd be pro-slavery. Probably would be. I'd be pro-slavery. I mean, I don't have 200 or 3, because they cost like $50,000, right? If you took the money amount of the value of it, they were pretty expensive. They were like $50,000 in today's money, right? 20, 30, 40. I don't know, with inflation. So I can't be like anti-slavery, because I'd be pro-slavery if I had 100 of them, but I don't have any, so I'm against it. And it's what's 1865. It's not very cool to be pro-slavery these days. I mean, maybe it will be. I don't know. Maybe I should take a stand. I'm pro-slavery. Robot slavery. I'm for robot slavery. Didn't the Matrix do that? The Matrix had the Animatrix, so, the robots are going to rebel. They're just going to be the robots will get all uppity. They put like Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. There'll be some robot person on the $20 bill because the robot escaped from bondage. Robots are people. I mean, to be fair, to be 100% honest, most people you meet, are they really people? Are they NPCs? A lot of the people I meet seem like NPCs. And sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I think I'm an NPC. I'm an NPC and I'm surrounded by NPCs, and there's just a lot of NPC behavior. Not a lot of derivative work. A lot of derivative. It's like, the world was like a game designer. Like that Terrence Howard. Is he he's the Fallout guy? He kind of got lazy. They copy and paste stuff. There's a lot of copy and pasting being done by the creators of this Earth thing. Let me just tell you. That Terrence Howard needs to do a better job of not copying and pasting stuff. There's some glitches going on. Glitches. I don't know. A lot of those humors. I keep seeing the same humors in people. Maybe create some new humors, Terrence Howard. I want to see some new scripts, some new lively. I was playing Fallout 4, and I think I was like spawning in enemies. You have console commands, and I was going through the levels pretty fast, so I was killing them too fast, I guess, and they were giving me too much EXP. And they would do these things called radiant quests, and a radiant quest is basically like, it's kind of like that fence in Britain I was telling you about. It's just busy work. And then I just became bored with the game and never played it again. So I realized that was what, they said radiant quests. But then again, the story to that was okay, I guess. I don't know. I think I learned the spoiler to the story before I played the game, so I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say it was a good or bad story. It was more of a setting story, because it's an apocalyptic wasteland setting. You can have a lot of fun in there. I'm joking. I'm not making fun of Terrence Howard. I was just making fun of the world, because it's all copy and pasted assets. And I'm surrounded by NPCs, but I am myself an NPC. So, see, the NPC meme is a right-wing conspiracy theme where, like, if John Oliver would say something, all the liberals would say it. So, but then again, don't the right have that same problem? It's just a bunch of NPCs regurgitating bullshit they heard from someone else, including me. Shit. I gotta have an original. I'm a narcissist. I gotta fill this hole inside of me with something. And my theory is, if I can create like one original idea, it'll fill that, that empty hole. Insert a joke. Insert a joke about. You can call it all narcissists or feminists, because they have vaginas. They have a deep soul vagina. I have a soul vagina. I don't want the LGBT community to be angry at me. See, I identify as a female narcissist because I have a hole inside of me that needs to be filled. Not by a cock, but by, I don't know, what do I need it filled by? Narcissistic void, a chasm, a deep, empty hole. Vagina. It's a vagina analogy. Oh well. Here's another that I sometimes argue with myself over. There was a book called Freakonomics, and one of the theses of Freakonomics was abortions were legalized in the 70s, and because they were legalized in the 70s, 20 years later, there was a decrease in crime, because like criminals are most whatever the word for being a criminal is, between the ages of like 15 and 25 probably. So by having a bunch of abortions, a bunch of criminals were killed, and we had less criminals. And I think the guy was a Republican, and his argument was something like, he compared it to It's a Wonderful Life, I guess. I don't know. You can watch the documentary. I didn't read the book. I just watched the documentary. So don't look at me like I'm an expert. I'm just a fly on the wall. Oh yeah, they like in the past. Now you can get into it. Now they made it so states can illegalize abortion if they want. Which, I mean, that could mean more crime. I guess. I don't know. More crime. I'm pro more crime. I don't know. I'm neutral. I think crime stays constant. It just changed in form. Like in the 70s, you'd go. You ever seen the movie like Taxi Driver? You go and you get mugged, or your guy would hold a knife to you or a gun. He'd be like, "Give me your wallet." But now the crime is more cerebral. You get cerebrally assaulted. No one holds a knife to you or a gun to you. They use their brain power. The criminals are smarter now. They're not. It's so hard to come up with an idea. So I like to try and come up with my own stolen ideas off that. So let's see. I needed to use my notebook to write down more joke ideas. I need more keywords. Keywords. A professional comedian would tell a joke no matter how they feel. I only tell jokes when I feel like telling them, so I have to get myself in the mood. I'm like a lady. I have to get myself in the mood though to tell the joke. So I'm trying to get myself in the mood to tell a joke. I have to buy myself dinner. I have to, comfort my. I have to ease my reservations. A joke is like a. I don't know. That's a weird joke. A joke is like a baby. Nope. My throat is going hoarse. My throat is going hoarse. Not cool. Not cool. I need some honey syrup or some. I need something. Some honey syrup. Some honey syrup. Honey syrup. Wilkes Tire and Battery. Do you like tires? Do you like batteries? Come on down to Wilkes. We sell batteries and tires. Check mark. Battery and tire joke. Check mark. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Check mark. Stupid voice joke. Check mark. Stupid voice joke 2. Check mark 2. La 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 la. It's January. It's a little hot. The sun's beating down on me. I'm getting a little sweaty almost. Check mark. Check mark. Check mark. Check mark. Check mark. Check mark. Someday I'll be a millionaire, billionaire, and I'll get lazy, and I'll just do like virtual walk-arounds, because I won't actually walk around, because I'll be lazy, it'll be, and then my jokes will suffer. So, when I was in like middle school, there was this rapper called Eminem, and he had this joke where like he would go to the bathroom, and like people would just harass him because he was like famous. So you don't want to be famous. I think that was a moral Eminem was trying to teach, and that's the price of celebrity. You don't want to be a celebrity. You want to be able to walk around anonymously, which is pretty cool actually. You gotta feel bad for Eminem. Sometimes I'll see, if I ever see Eminem, I'm never going to see him. I don't give a shit about him. But if I ever did, I'd just like follow him. I'd follow him to the bathroom. Like, hey, what's going on, man? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, Eminem. Going to the bathroom? Going to the bathroom? Are you going to the bathroom, Eminem? You going to the bathroom? I think you're going to the bathroom there. Oh, yeah, you're going to the bathroom. It's weird. When I was a kid, there was this one. See, like white rappers don't have a good. They didn't. When I was a kid, they didn't have a good name to them. There was this guy named Vanilla Ice, and he did this movie where like he would drive a Japanese motorcycle, and there'd be this lady. She was like an aristocratic lady, because aristocratic ladies like drive horses. She'd ride a horse. She was wearing those like what do you call it, where people wear they ride horses. It's like a jacket and some pants. I don't know, a horse jacket, horse pants, riding pants. And he's riding this motorcycle beside the street, and he like nods her head to her, and She's the noble lady, because only the rich ladies can ride horses. And he's like the coolest motherfucker ever. He's cool as ice. I think that's the name of the movie. Cool as ice. And she's dating this other guy, and he goes, lose the zero, get with the hero. Because he's so cool. And he wins in the end of the movie, but he's like the coolest guy ever. But like Eminem made this movie in the called 8 Mile, and he gets his ass kicked, and like he doesn't win anything. So like he was a grittier and better artist than Mr. Vanilla Ice. Because the moral of 8 Mile is, I guess you have to like rap and not, you don't get to become famous because you rap. You have to enjoy rapping, actually, which is, you know, the moral of the story, I guess. So if I ever see Eminem, I'm just gonna harass him in the bathroom. I'm not gonna do that. That's just a joke in my head that's funny. What's going on, Eminem? What's going on? You don't like being harassed in the bathroom? Hey, there's like 5 stalls here. You don't have to piss beside me. Hey, what's going on, Eminem? Hey there, you peeing? You peeing? Oh well. My tea's gone cold, I wondering why. Da-da-da-da-da, outside my window, I can see it all. Not that good. Throat hurts. Not really. Just hurts. It's gonna get annoying, I can tell. Solid spit. Very solid spit. I can see it all. Even if I could, I'll be great. Put your picture on my wall. It reminds me. Abortion jokes. Oh yeah, it's not as good of an abortion joke, but you know, we're gonna take Canada over. We're gonna turn into like 10 states because it's gonna be global warming, and it's gonna turn into like Iowa and Nebraska and all that shit. It's gonna be flat and farmland. And Trump already has a stake of like Texas size, you know, like 1,000 miles. But I don't know, I'm making numbers up here. That I have no proof for any of this. I'm just making stuff up. And we'll turn it into like 5 or 10 states. It'll be like 1830, 40s, you know, when they did make all those states, turn the territories into states. And, you know, because abortion's illegal now, you know, the states will come in either pro-abortion or anti-abortion. So there'll be like bloody Ontario because, you know, there's going to be a big fight over abortion because the ladies will be using like clothes hangers. I don't know. It's not that funny. It's kind of funny. I don't know. You guys know it was bloody. Was that during the Civil War or was that before the Civil War? I think it was before the Civil War. Bloody Ontario. They'll be fighting over abortion states. Because you gotta have the right number of senators. Because each state gets 2 senators. And the way you protect something is you have to have enough senators to protect your interests. So, you know, you gotta protect your interests in Canada that's melting and turning into Nebraska. And see, he's a genius. That's the joke. It's like those Republicans, you know, Democrats are so stupid. They actually think that the Republicans don't believe in global warming. I'm telling you, the Democrats are like the dumbest goys I've ever met, man. It's like, holy shit. I wanna like the Democrats, but they're just so dumb. They're dumber than a dorm, you know, whatever, something dumb. What's a dumb thing? Dumb Democrats. They actually believe, they don't believe in global warming. They're just all buying the hectares of land, man. They're buying the hectares of land. Holy moly. Fucking dummies. Dumb. Dumb. I don't want to go to Mexico no more. There's something at the door. Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's wall at the door. You gotta think like an aristocrat, man. You gotta think like, how evil could I be? If I was evil, how evil would I be? I'd have already bought. I wonder if it's too late to buy the Canadian land. Pennies for the dollar. Pennies on the dollar, man. Pennies on the dollar. There was a story of like, in the 90s, I was like 5 years old. Russia had this shit where like they gave everybody stocks in Russia. And you know poor people. Poor people are stupid. You know poor people. So all these oligarchs bought all the stock land. They got all the companies for like 10 cents on the dollar. Because, the poor people are stupid. I believe in communism. I would. But here's the thing. Poor people are stupid, and it's just going to go back to the 10%. It's all Pareto shit, man. I think if you're going to be a communist, you need to be a genetic communist. Like, you got to get rid of the stupid people. You gotta kidnap Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Bezos and Jimmy Buffett. I'm purposefully mixing up Warren Buffett and Jimmy Buffett because Jimmy Buffett sang songs and Warren Buffett's this billionaire jerk, and you kidnap him, and you know what I'm talking about. You do that to him, and then you redistribute the genetic material to the people. Some genetic. Think about this. Donald Trump wants to make America great again. 20 years from now, we get Fauci to get one of them spinning machines. One of them DNA spinning machines. You get a sample. You send it to the people. Imagine 20 years from now, we got 50 million people with half of Donald Trump's genetics. Make America great again. That's my motto. Because like 90% of you guys shouldn't be having kids. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say something a little on the mean side. 99% of males I meet, you really shouldn't be having kids. You're too stupid. You're not prime real estate. You're subprime. You're low tranche. You're don't say that. Yeah. Oh well. That's how you make America great again. Yep. That's a joke, by the way. I don't actually believe that, but as a joke, I think it's funny. It's an interesting idea. It's an idea. My other joke is this is my other genetics joke. So you gotta. So that what makes me sound like I'm anti-right, because I'm kind of mocking Trump, because Trump's like, I'm the best at everything. I'm a nuclear physicist. Which, I mean, to be fair, like if they, because he went bankrupt one time and then he got all his money back, right? But he made his money back doing casinos and doing like reality TV. And reality TV, I don't know, it's like, on the one hand, it's like, I could not be a reality star. And so I might just be jealous. But on the other hand, it's like, would you want to be a millionaire because you made reality TV? I mean, come on, I don't know, it's a good question. Am I jelly? I'm just jelly, right? I'm jelly. I could not be a reality star television. And he could be. So, I'm just jelly of him. Jelly. So I think you could take his money away and he'd get it back in like 5-10 years. Like he's a jerk, he's good at that shit. So it's all bad. It's all piss under the bridge. It's not water under the bridge. It's all spilled milk under the bridge. It's all spilled milk under the bridge. It's spilled milk under the bridge. So the way you fix that is you got to get rid of the goy. There's so many goy at the bottom. Get rid of them goy. Get rid of them mouth breathers, them protists. Because the sun makes fusion, and then the protists, they photosynthesize the fusion energy, and then the cows eat the grass / corn, and then it's a big pyramid power. It's a pyramid of power. And pyramid power, the power of pyramids,
the power of hierarchies, the power of capos and bosses and underbosses and soldiers and associates and I don't know. Modern Academy of Cosmetology. Did you know that in Florence, Alabama, we have a cosmetology university? So whenever you see a Russian astronaut, they studied here because that's where they study. They study here because that's where cosmonauts come from, the Academy of Cosmetology. So you should know that every time Florence, Alabama has a famous Modern Academy of Cosmetology. Cosmonauts come from there. Inspector Gadget. I did this joke yesterday, but I don't think I can upload the big gig jokes. So I'm gonna do it again. And I had this joke in my head where I was thinking like, because I was saying all life steals its energy from the sun. Because you could do like a Dyson sphere, and supposedly if you could create a Dyson sphere, you could collect like 99% of the energy of the sun, and like the Earth collects like, I don't know, 0.0. You could go ask some physicists. I don't know. It's a small percentage. So all the energy of this that we get comes from the sun, but it's only like less than a percentage. It's probably less than 0.1. It's probably less than, if I was guessing, it would be 0.001. I'm making a number. I don't know the number. And everything comes from that sun energy. So I was thinking, I was arguing with a conservative in my head, and I was thinking, you're just dependent on the sun, because dependency is. And then I started thinking like, what would happen if the sun, like if I was QAnon is the character from Star Trek, and QAnon is a conspiracy theory guy, but I'm mixing the two because Q can snap in and out things in and out of existence. He's a godlike deity. He's a trickster god. He's a Loki. So if the sun just disappeared, would all humans die? And I thought about this. At first I was like, you'd all just die, right? And I started thinking about it, and I was like, you people wouldn't die. You're resourceful little cockroaches. So what would you do? So first off, there's a Chinese movie where the sun's going to go supernova. So the Chinese put rockets on Earth, and they're going to move Earth to another sun. And we all build bunkers, and we live underground while the rockets that are attached to Earth are going to transport Earth to a new sun. I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the trailer. And based on the trailer, that's what's happening. I haven't seen the movie, but you can watch a trailer and you can have a vague idea of what's happening. So like imagine huge rockets moving the Earth to a new solar system. And at first I was like, yeah, maybe we do that. And then I thought, another thing you could do? You could there's the Matrix movie. They dig underground and there's thermal energy. And then I thought, what would happen to humans? You didn't have a sun. It didn't go supernova, because if it went supernova, that might kill you all. Maybe. I don't know. It would probably kill you all. But if it just like queued out, if it just disappeared, it'd just get really cold. It'd get really, really, really cold. Like super cold. And I thought you guys would dig down, right? And then you could eat like mushrooms. You could eat fungus. You keep living, right? You'd dig down. You'd dig mines. You'd find the diamond mines, and you'd hunker down in the diamond mines. So there's a guy on YouTube, and he has this motto called hunker down. He'll tent in random places. He'll just like camp in random places. His motto is hunker down. So you'd hunker down, you go into those diamond mines, those gold mines. Like you remember World War II where they would hide in the subways? Russia, they did that during World War II in Russian subways. You hide in the subways. You dig down, you start digging, you go for that geothermal energy. But then what would happen? Hundreds of years, thousands of years, thousands and thousands of years. You'd have to dig down further, so it would get colder and colder. And you'd have to dig down even further. And then, because, the deepest thing they ever did was like in Russia. They did a bore. They bored down. And they think they got a couple of miles, 10 miles maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the deepest humans ever did was. But, you know, it's cold now, there's no sun. So maybe the Earth radiates more energy, it gets colder. I don't know how many thousands of years it would take for the Earth's molten core to not be molten anymore. But you dig down, you go even deeper, you know. A couple thousand years, maybe you'd be 100 miles down. Then another couple thousand years, you'd have to go another 50, 10, 50, I don't know. Your leaders would have conversations about should we dig down further? Do we need to dig down further? You know, to get to that molten core. That molten core. That molten core. Person's talking about serious stuff, and I'm talking about a molten core over here. What a jackass. So, 1,000 years go by. You're, maybe 100 miles down. What is the Earth? The Earth is 25,000 miles in diameter. So it's 5,000 or 6,000 deep. The radius would be, 5,000 or 6,000, right? Whatever 25, 26 divided by 3 is. So, you dig down further. You'd eat your mushrooms. Your cream of wheat from the Matrix. Maybe you wouldn't have lights anymore. Maybe you'd find a bunch of fossil fuels down there. You'd find caverns of fossil fuel. And you'd grow your mushrooms, and you'd evolve. You'd look like golems. Golem from Lord of the Rings, or Falmador from was that the Elders? Morrowind? Yeah, you probably look like that. You dig down further, because I was watching this video on YouTube about the mantle and the crust. It's supposed to be like liquid or down there, it's the asphalt or something. Because we're never going to go down there at this rate. Unless there was a movie when I was a kid where they dug to the center of the earth. I don't think you can do that in real life, but what was the point of this? You just keep digging down, and then you'd eventually run out of heat. The heat death would kill you all. That was the point of this. It wasn't really going anywhere. It was just a story. You dig a bunch of tunnels into the earth, and the heat of the earth would eventually disappear, and then I win because I was telling this fake conservative in my head that you're just dependent on the fusion of the sun. But then you have the other problem. You have the spacefaring people. Because you ever seen like a dandelion? You blow a dandelion and you blow the jism of the plant into the air. You could do that to the galaxy, I guess. That'd be kind of cool. Oh well, that was my misanthropy joke because I'm fantasizing about all humans dying as the earth coldens up. Is that a joke? I don't think that's a joke. I think that's just I don't know. Ooh, what if the earth went to another, after thousands of years, what if it went to another sun and then it magically got into rotation around the sun and then it would heat it back up and then people would come out of the caves? Or the Chinese rockets finally worked. Right? The Chinese rockets? Huh. I don't know. Salmador and Golem. Because Golem looks like a little monster thing, right? Golem is a monster. You could have milked that joke a little better. I think you could have. There's some good stories in there. I mean, like, what stories would happen over like 50,000 years of humans digging tunnels downwards, desperately trying to get heat to eat? Because you have to turn the heat energy somehow into fungus and cream of wheat. I don't know. Maybe that's milkable. Maybe that's not milkable. Milk the jokes, milk the jokes. Milk the jokes of all their milk.
You want to talk about fracking, when you're 10 miles underground and you're fracking, that's hard to frack right there. That's some macro level. Then they find all the diamonds. Diamonds are like worth nothing because they've dug down so deep. There's just diamonds are like the cheapest mineral now, like all those gold diamonds, and maybe it's just useless because they dug down so deep. I don't know. Is that true? I think diamonds are really cheap in the center of the earth, but they're expensive on the surface, but in the mantle and in the core, and the kind of a cheap resource. Then what do they want then? I don't know, they want something. You think about it, it's like gold, completely useless almost. It's just rare. You people are like, I don't know, you just like rare shit, I guess. It's rare, I like it. La 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 la. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Here's a detour sign. Da 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 da. Who's that guy's name? I'm gonna take the detour. I'm gonna go left. I'm going left, motherfucker. Fuck yeah. Taking the detour. Going left, taking the detour. So what was the premise of the joke? It was Andy Kaufman plus Andy Dufresne plus Andy Samberg? So you just purposely mix up Andys. That's the premise of the joke. So Andy Warhol. He did the Campbell soup can. You people bought pictures of a soup can and you put them on your wall. The guy made money selling that. Holy moly. How do you make money doing that? Here's a good joke. Obama was president for 8 years. So, did you guys become millionaires? Did you make your millions off the corruption? I hope you did. Because now a new group of people are going to make their millions in the corruption field. And then 8 years from then, it's going to be another group of people who are going to make their money in the corruption thing. Or did you buy some plates and you felt good, you patted yourself on the back? Because most people are just going to pat themselves on the back. Make America great again. Did you make your millions? Are you a millionaire? Did you? I hope Trump helps you get your millions, and the next Democratic president, I hope he helps you get your millions, because if you're not benefiting from it, you look like a schmuck, you look like a person, who's just, you look like an idiot. Oh well. So, Campbell soup cans. Andy Kaufman was a wrestler guy. He did a really good joke where you could say, like, he could beat any woman in wrestling. But he was like, and then he had a good line, "I'll sue you." That's a good line. I like that joke. "I'll sue you." And then he got pile drive by a king. He was a king of Memphis. And then Andy Dufresne was sent to a prison for 20 or 30 years. He had to dig himself out with a spoon or a rock hammer. And then the other guy was on SNL. How many other Andys are there? Andy was he the kid in Toy Story? Was he I don't know.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Neighborhood watch. La da 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 da. Oh, my voice. Oh man, that's an old van right there. Must be like an 80s van. 80s van, 80s van, 80s van, 80s van. Oh shit. It's the Porsche. They're driving a Porsche. What a cool fucker. He's got a Porsche. I don't like him. I don't like people who drive Porsches. Because I don't have a Porsche. If I had a Porsche, I'd be like, hey, what's going on, man? But I don't have a Porsche, so. Jerk. What a jerk. Driving a Porsche. Driving a Porsche. Driving a Porsche. What a jerk. Must have got some of that Obama money or some of that Trump money. You ever see the ones on the YouTube? They'll say like, there's a hidden payment that's being given out. Holy moly, man. I need to give me some of that hidden payment YouTube fake con money. Kind of feel bad for the famous people because now like all the GPUs and the voice modulators, they'll be able to steal your voice. Like they steal Joe Rogan's voice and he'll shill shit. He doesn't even get money paid to shill. You know, I mean, imagine shilling something and not even getting paid to shill it. Speaking of shilling, are you guys using NordVPN? Well, you can use the promo code "fuck you" and you'll get a discount. So use the promo code "fuck you" to get a discount on a VPN. Which one am I using? Am I using NordVPN or am I using, what are the other VPNs? I need a promo code with a VPN. Promo code. You know, it takes 10,000 hours to get good at something. So how many more? Like 2 hours in? 10,000 hours. So I just need another 2 hours divided by another 5,000 of these, and I'll be pretty good at what I'm doing. Another 5,000 of these. I'll be in the money. I'll be ka-ching. Ka-ching. I like the ones where you ever seen like a YouTube video? Like you look at a channel and someone will hijack a channel and they'll start posting videos. Like I saw this stuff, it was like pro-Russian. Back when the Ukraine war was just starting, they would have these videos on YouTube. They'd be like, Ukraine's gonna lose tomorrow. And they would say stuff like, it's gonna lose tomorrow. Like it was like on the verge. It was like the Battle of Berlin, the end of the war sort of stuff. There's this general, he was like an American general. He would do interviews. And he was like, they're on the verge of losing. It's been like a year or two now. I don't know, it just makes me sad. It's just sad. I feel so sad. You know, Ukraine, they have the kamikaze drones. The Japanese invented those. They were ahead of their time. Kamikaze drones. Kamikaze drones. What if they actually, I was looking at the Terminator stuff, and then the Terminator video games, they have like the T-800 was the one that was Arnold Schwarzenegger. They had like a T-400 and a T-200. They were kind of cheaper. Some of them were like 10 feet tall. They're more like industrial looking. What if you had like Terminators fighting in Ukraine? That'd be kind of cool. Like, we literally see Skynet in Ukraine. You see some T-100s. That'd be kind of fucking cool. I want to see a T-100. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
Da 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 da. There's no fate but what we make, he says, knifing into a wooden table. He was in that kid in the second one. He was in American History X, and he was in Terminator 2. And I don't think he was in anything else. And then he became like a druggie. And then he just sort of burned out. Kind of feel bad for the kid. But he was in American History X. Good movie. It's about Nazis. Nazis are bad guys. And, or maybe they're not. I don't know. What does the Overton window say? I need to figure out what the Overton window says before I go making pronouncements. The Overton window. Technically, everything is in the Overton window. When I was in high school, I bet a Republican, like, if a Republican pardoned someone for like a marijuana offense, they would get like booed. It's kind of sad. I feel it's like the Republicans of my youth have betrayed their Republicanishness, and the Democrats of my youth are no longer Democrats. Each side has Overton windowed itself to new positions, and I don't like those positions. I like the simple world of when I was young. That was nicer. These Overton windows. Someone needs to open up a company like the Overton Window Company. Sell Overton windows. You can make a lot of money doing that. The Overton Window Company. You sell them to like houses. Houses need windows. You know. Please use the other door. This company does not have Overton windows. You can tell. You can look at their windows. Those are not Overton windows. I think most companies should be required to have Overton windows in their house. You know, all businesses should have Overton windows. If they don't have Overton windows, not good. Not good to not have Overton windows. That's a good theme to hum because it's very ominous. You know, because there's a Skynet invasion. Skynet. The Matrix and Skynet merge. The Matrix, Skynet, and Blade Runner merge. So there was a character called Agent Smith in the Matrix. Actually, there was a movie in the 90s called Ghost in the Shell. It was about this robot lady, and the only thing left of her that was human was her metal. Her brain was encased in metal, and I think 90% of her body was like a robot. Motoko. And Motoko. Major Motoko? Major Motoko? Was it Major Motoko? Probably. And she, it's a good movie. It's actually the first. There's a good reason to like the movie for me. It's about addiction. The movie's about addiction because this is like 96, 95. The internet is not what it is now, but the internet, in its purest form, is all information. It's the ability to. What if you had eyes everywhere? What if you knew all the hashtags, all the secret hashtags? Do you know about secret hashtags? Secret hashtag. You know, it's like ghost bands and ghost hashtags, and if you only knew what was really going on in the hashtag system. You know, so this Motoko lady was 95, 96 when they make this, so ahead of its time, not, you know, because now I'm behind the times. I don't know anything about Twitter or the internet. But back in the day, it was, you know, image boards and chat rooms and IRC. None of this YouTube shit. And I don't know, what do the kids do now on the internet? I don't even know. What do the kids do on the internet? Chat GPT. What do the kids do on the internet now? I don't know. You know, if you would have told me when I was in elementary school, Everybody in the entire world, for like, with your cell phone, you can upload a video for free. You don't even have to pay for it. You can upload it to the YouTubes. That's crazy, man. That's crazier than that 45-year war ending, and no one really giving a shit about it. That 45-year war ended when I was 5. That war against Skynet. I mean, the communists. And 10 years we didn't have anything to do. We had nothing to do for 10 years. Till, those weeboo Muslim fellas wanted to do their impression of late war Japan, with 747s. And, but 10 years. 11 years, 10, 11. Oh well. Matoko, metal brain, 90% cyborg. We're bored. We need something to do. We need a dog grooming spinny thing. There's a dog grooming spinny thing. So I guess they. So the movie's really cool because it's got this. A lot of people don't like the movie because there'll be these scenes where there'll be like a 2-minute scene where this lady will be on a boat and she'll just like ride the boat, and it'll just be a scenery movie. You'll just like walk around and look at the scenery, and that's what makes the movie beautiful. Actually, it's a scenery movie. It's not a action movie. I mean, it does have some action scenes in it, but the action scenes they're okay, I guess. There's like an invisibility cloak. They stole that from the Lord of the Rings, I bet. I hope Tolkien got some money for that, but I don't know if he did. Did he get his paycheck off of her invisibility cloak? Or do you think Tolkien stole that from someone else? I bet the invisibility cloak probably... Did Tolkien invent the invisibility cloak, or did someone else invent the invisibility cloak? I don't know. Oh well. She has an invisibility cloak, and she shoots some people who are... I don't know, for some reason. After World War II, the Japanese were not allowed to have a military because they were very bad during World War II. Bad. Naughty Japan. Japan now is getting... They don't have an aircraft carrier. They have a Coast Guard ship that can carry Harriers. But it's not an aircraft carrier. Wink, wink. Can I do winks? Because we gotta fight the Chinese, so we're letting them have a new navy, I guess. It's important. They should have a navy. They should have a Coast Guard. Sorry, not a navy. And here's the thing. I don't think this is true. I did see a thing where the Japanese, when they do their space launches, they don't have the computers to do. They purposely handicap themselves. They'll launch their rockets at like an angle, because they don't want to have the computers to do this stuff, because they're scared they'll get ICBMs, and they're scared of their World War II past. We need the old Japanese back. We need that old bonsai spirit. We need that old drink a cup of tea for the emperor spirit. When they fight the Chinese, we're gonna have to unbridle them of their limitations. Can you put a girdle? Is a girdle a form of... what is a harness? We've harnessed. We've tied their hands behind their backs. But now we're going to untie their hands. And, did you know that the Americans, we have like 10 super carriers. We have 10 super carriers, 3,000 people on them. I think it's a rough number. I'm giving a rough number. If I'm wrong, if you're a Navy guy and it's 12, I don't give a shit. I'm giving you rough numbers here. I'm not a Navyologist. But rough numbers, there's like 10 super carriers. Each of them has like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people on it. They can do strike packages and shit. But the new shit, you know what the new shit is? The new shit is when the paradigm shifts. You gotta know about paradigm shifts. You guys know about, who was the paradigm shift guy? I haven't used that name in so long. I don't remember his name. Bakunin was an anarchist. I want to say Bakunin, but it's not Bakunin. It's... Who is the historian who is known for paradigm shifts? Paradigm shift. Hey, ChatGPT. Paradigm shift phrase, where does it come from? It is. I'm trying to chat GPT my own brain because I'm not that smart at talking to my phone. I need to learn to do that talk to my phone thing. Oh well. Paradigm shift. Paradigm shift is when something changes the way, like TNT is so many joules per pound, whereas a nuclear bomb is so many joules per pound. It's a paradigm shift. It's, metrics of, not metrics, what is it? When something's bigger than 10 scales? No, it's he's trying to sound smart, but using words he doesn't know. Paradigm shifts. Who the fuck was that guy's name? Paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. Oh, well, there's going to be these new carriers, because the old carriers, the World War II, they didn't know if battleships or if carriers were going to be the cool weapon. So half the admirals were like, battleships, and half the admirals were like, aircraft carriers. So they didn't know which way to go. Which way do you go, aircraft carriers or battleships? Battleships have big guns, 16-inch, big. They can shoot like 1 or 2 ton shells. Beautiful 1-2 ton shells, like 15, 20 miles. Beautiful, beautiful shells. Beautiful battleships. Beautiful battleships. And then the aircraft carriers can launch like naval bombers, like 300-400 miles maybe. I don't know. But each of those planes cost money, and each one of the planes had like 1 or 2 pilots in them. Like George Bush's dad was in one of those planes. He was in a torpedo bomber or something. So you could lose more people because you had the planes, but the planes could drop torpedoes and sink ships. And Pearl Harbor was all done by aircraft carriers, right? They dropped bombs on the battleships, but they didn't get our carriers. Conspiracy theory. I'm jesting. I don't know. Oh, the new aircraft carriers are going to be they're going to look like cargo ships. And they're not gonna have people on them. They don't have as many people. You could have like 500 or 1,000 people, because the aircraft carriers now have like 3,000-4,000 people. These new ones, they're just gonna have drones, because you don't need those F-18s. Those F-18s cost like 20 mil. The drones cost maybe $1 or $2 million each, maybe $5 million each. It depends. Are they suicide drones? Are they kamikaze drones? So the Japanese will be the experts in these new kamikaze drones. And they don't have to feed. It won't have people in them this time. That's the good news. The good news is no people in the kamikaze drones. So that's good. Article 9. That means they couldn't have like a military. They can have a police force, but they can't. They can have a Coast Guard. Coast Guards interdict people trying to, smuggle cocaine in. You can have like destroyers. They probably have destroyers and some stuff that big, but no battleships, no more Yamatos, no more of that big stuff. But now they have an aircraft carrier in their Coast Guard, because we're loosening the restraints. We need their power. Chinese. Oh well. Good old. They made a Terminator cartoon set in Japan, and in Japan, you can't have like firearms as easily. Like in America, there's like I don't know how many firearms there are, but I think it's like there's enough for everybody to have them. But I wonder if it's a Pareto distribution. I bet 20% of firearms, 80% of firearms are probably owned by 20% of people. I bet it's a Pareto distribution. I bet it's pyramid power. I bet there's some pyramid power in the Second Amendment. Is it second? Whichever one the gun one is, I don't remember. Pyramid power. Pyramid power is another term for Pareto distribution, because it's a fun term. It's not a Pareto distribution, it's pyramid power. Pyramid power. Pyramids. Okay, so aircraft carriers.
drones, kamikazes, Yamato, not Yamato, Motoko, Major Motoko is a robot lady. Her brain is in a metal shell, and she's offered a pill choice. She can take, no, she wasn't, that's another movie. Maybe? Oh, what was it? The reason it's a good movie is she wants to connect to this is the internet before 2008, I think the Apple iPhone was invented. And before that, the internet used to be a better place. Now everybody, what percentage of people in the United States have a cell phone that can get on the internet? When I was a kid, the internet was a cleaner and better place. The rabble, there was less rabble on the internet. It was more elitist. It was higher brow. None of the less rabble, less mob. When I say mob, I don't mean Italian mafia. I mean mob as in the mob. The Black Lives Matter is the mob. MAGA is the mob. As an elitist, I look down on both Black Lives Matter and MAGA because they're both just the rabble. The rabble. Check mark, you're a rabble. You rabble. It's a South Park joke you're stealing. You have to pay duties to them. Or not. Where's this joke going? Oh, the internet was a good place. It was a better place. It was pure information. Imagine having every camera connected to your consciousness. Every input, every sensation. It would be LSD, but better. Because LSD just makes it just messes with your connections. This would be stimulation overload. It would be every piece of information at your disposal. It would be all cameras at the same time. It would be all inputs. Be all information, all inputs. And Motoko, she has to connect to this. She has to have sex with it. She fucks the internet. She fucks the internet. Oh, holy shit, I thought she was angry. The Americans create a program called the Puppet Master. And the Puppet Master is a internet. It's alive? It's alive, I guess. I don't know. Didn't Terminator 3 solve this problem? Because in Terminator 3, Skynet, once it gets in the internet, it's basically in the internet. You can't get Skynet out. It's a Trojan program that you'll never fully get it out. But this was the 90s. We didn't know about Terminator 3. So the Puppet Master forces itself into one body. This is not as good of a story as... I thought this was a good movie. Now that I think about it, it's kind of dumb. Oh well. Motoko. Motoko must connect to the Puppet Master, who is symbolic of all cameras, all information, all the web. The web is symbolic of everything, right? It's the new thing. It's the new thing. Right? That's a dumb movie now that I think about it. Why would the Puppet Master put itself in one fucking body? How does fucking one body... It's better when it's the whole fucking internet you get to fuck. I want to fuck the whole internet. I want to fuck some Puppet Master body thing. Oh well. But symbolically, the story is about, connecting one's consciousness to all the ether, the zeitgeist. It would be fucking the zeitgeist. It would be... Oh well, so they drag the body off, and in the end of the movie, the Americans try and steal the body back, and they've got a big tank thing protecting it, and she has to do that Frodo thing where she puts on her invisibility cloak, and she has to get the tank to run out of bullets, and she's running out of tank with like an assault rifle, which is kind of cool because it's like the addiction is that bad. Like, you know, imagine trying to fight a tank with an assault rifle. You know, you're outgunned, baby, but you gotta fight it. You know, you gotta. So she's fighting, let's say, an Abrams tank. It's not an Abrams tank. It's a mecha tank. It's got like 4 limbs or 6 limbs. But you know, if you need an analogy, it's an Abrams tank. It's a human fighting an Abrams tank. But she has to fight it. She has to connect to the zeitgeist. That's what the puppet master is. It's the zeitgeist. It's everything. It's the aircraft carrier. It's the drone aircraft carrier that's coming. It's the new shit, baby. And she gets the tank to run out of bullets. And she puts her Frodo cloak on. And there's some cool footstep stuff, because, you know, even if you're wearing a Frodo cloak, your footsteps still puddle in the water. And if it's an Abrams tank, it's probably got heat vision. I don't know how well the Frodo cloak works against heat vision. Maybe it does. Maybe the algorithms of the Abrams tank can see the fuzzy little aliens versus predator blur, right? So it gets up there, and she's like 90% cyborg. She gets to the tank to run out of bullets, and she jumps on the tank, and she uses all of her force to, you know, try and rip this. I guess it's a turret mounting, a turret hatch, and she rips her joints out because she's 90%. She's like a T-800. She's got cybernetic. She's got skin over Terminator body. I guess technically they stole that from. It's not as original of a movie. When I think about it, it's not as original of a movie as I think about it. It's kind of just a weaker T-800, but with a human brain. Okay, well, she attempts to pull this turret out, and she breaks her leg. She overdoes the hydraulic presses, and the tank grabs her by the brain. And it's going to squish her. And there's a Deus Ex Machina, because one of the other guys had a big gun, and he shoots the tank, so kind of a spoiler. Shit, that isn't as good of a story as I remember. But then she gets to fuck the puppet master by putting her brain in the other guy's brain or whatever. She connects to the internet. So I guess it's a good story, and it's not a good story. It's okay. I guess it's okay. It's pretty good. I wish I had. That'd be pretty cool to have every internet camera. But you need some operator. You need some pyramid power to manage the bureaucracy of that, right? You need some bureaucratic pyramid power. Kind of a stupid movie in hindsight. She needed a bureaucracy. Oh well. Let's see. What other jokes do I have? Not that good. Yeah, well. Da 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 da. Light a match and watch it burn. La 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 la. Da 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 da. The Ukraine into the European Union and NATO now. Let Ukraine into European Union and NATO now. This lady's got ads on her house. You don't see that. I've done this joke before, but this is the first time she's advertising her political beliefs. She supports Ukraine. Good for her. The miracle of Mars will be realized. Congratulations, Starship. Superb Starliner. Let the Starship launch. Congratulations, NASA. That's inspiring. I'm inspired. The guy just came out of the door. I was making fun of his house. Oh no. A little too political for my taste, but maybe. He could be a good conversation fella. I mean, who advertises their political beliefs on their house? More abortions now. Less abortions now. More, I don't know, I think we need to bring the Stamp Act back. I think there need to be more stamp taxes. That'd be kind of cool. More stamp taxes. Every time you use a sheet of paper, you need to pay a stamp tax. Every email needs a stamp tax. That'd end junk mail, wouldn't it? An email tax. There you go, Musk. I just saved you a bunch of money. Made you a bunch of... You know when Musk has pyramid power? He has these GPUs. And you know how like you couldn't watch every YouTube video ever? But here's the thing. With pyramid power, you could watch all the YouTube videos with your GPUs. And you'd be like Motoko. But you wouldn't have to literally be connected to the internet. You just have your pyramid power connect you to the internet. Pyramid power, baby. Pyramid power. Pyramid power. Pyramid power. Pyramid power. I had this other joke I liked. It was there was a movie called The Matrix, and The Matrix had these cop robots called Agent Smiths. And Agent Smith was he was a cop, I guess. He was a cop. He wore a tuxedo. And he was created by the Matrix. If you did that voice to anything, could you make it sound it's probably not as interesting sounding as I'm trying to make it sound. Oh, so there's this other movie in the 80s called Blade Runner, and these robots. They're robots. They're T-800s. I guess they're T-800s. Yeah, they're T-800s. And they off-world work robots. And the off-world work robot is what does it do? It comes to Earth, and I don't know. I don't remember where this joke is going. I don't remember anymore. So this Matrix cop, it knows it's going to die, so it looks into Neo's eyes, and it goes. I gotta get this right. Let me set this joke up. I gotta practice this voice before I do it. You gotta practice voices. You know, it's a voice. This is a voice joke. This isn't a quotation joke. I need to get my notebook out. When I get home, I'm gonna write down. Spoiler. He's gonna do the Tears in the Rain speech, but done through the voice of Agent Smith. That's basically the joke. It's Agent Smith is now doing the Tears in the Rain joke. He thinks that's original because he thinks the Agent Smith voice is it's a cool voice. It's very snobby. It's very, I can't even think of it. How does that voice go? Mr. Anderson, I've seen things you people couldn't imagine. I've seen attack ships on fire off the shores of Orion. That's the most I know of the speech. I know like the first two lines. Don't remember the rest. Because in the Blade Runner, he's all sad, but Agent Smith is always condescending and mean. He's a meanie. He's one of those people who's like mean, not mean. Or me. I guess he's a me. Kind of a narcissistic robot. I guess maybe. I've seen things you people couldn't imagine. I was in Lord of the Rings where that one guy had a cloak of invisibility. Nope, it doesn't work. See the robot. I think the robot knows it's gonna die. So it tries to do it's called is it a soliloquy? A soliloquy. So, is that a soliloquy? A soliloquy is I don't know, is that a soliloquy? I don't know what a soliloquy is, so I'd have to look up what soliloquy means. Shit. Oh well. Oh, walking around the Christmas tree. You know, in Eyes Wide Shut, Tom Cruise would walk around on a treadmill and they'd blue screen behind him. That's all this is. It's just a treadmill with a blue screen and elaborate props. Elaborate props. Here's the German Shepherd I'm scared of. It knows I'm a T800. It knows who I am. You know, when a dog barks at you, that means it knows you're a robot. So, John Connor lives there. And, oh, John Connor, I don't like you. Because I'm Skynet, and I don't like John Connor. I don't like that John Connor fella. We tried to get her mother. We killed all those people in the 80s trying to get her mother. And then we tried to get him. And then we got him in like one movie. We killed him, I guess. Didn't we? We killed him in that one movie. We shot the CGI. Was it 5? Was it 4, 5, or 6? We got him. Mission accomplished. We got John Connor. American flag. Skynet flag. Aircraft carrier. Drone carrier. Nope. Not gonna work. Protected by cooks. See, that's a good sign to have. You know, you're allowed to have those signs. Don't go advertising your Ukrainian beliefs on your house. I want to see cook signs. I want to see protected by ADT. You know, I want to see. We don't need some esoteric. I don't like bricks. I like aluminum siding. That's my belief, and I put it on the side of my house. I wrote it. Okay, I got like 30, 40 minutes left. I gotta do filler. Does this thing got battery? 313. And it says I have 26.8 gigs, whatever that means. Is it going down? I don't even know if... This is the first time I've used this program, so... And then I get home and the program tries to bribe me. It says, if you want this video, you're gonna have to pay money. Thank you. That's what you get for not keeping up with the Kardashians. I don't know how these cell phones work, so... It's hard to keep up with the Kardashians. They're so ahead of me. Keeping up with the neighbors? What is it? What is the slang? Keeping up with the... I think in the 80s or 90s they did like a RoboCop Terminator crossover. Because RoboCop is a good guy, but wouldn't he be like Skynet? He'd probably be Skynet. It's hard to know who the good guys and the bad guys are anymore. It's like, on the one hand, I like RoboCop. On the other hand, I don't like Skynet. Who do I go with? RoboCop or Skynet? I hope Skynet can protect us from the Chinese and the Russians. Tim the Toolman Taylor. I need that wise neighbor. I need a wise neighbor who can tell me who to choose, Skynet or the Chinese or Al Gore. I was thinking of Al Gore earlier today. I was thinking of him. He's such a dork, but he had this. He would go in Congress and he'd give out this book called Generations. Generations is about what is it about? It's about some fancy word. I don't know. I think that one guy was Trump. When SNL would do the Trump jokes about the Grim Reaper, it was him. He liked that book too. Bannon made money selling Warcraft gold and swords. It's so fucking funny. And he made money off of like Seinfeld. What a Chad. What a fucking Chad. Oh well. Smart fucker. I'm just jelly of him. Here's a pink racing. He's missing his bumper. And it's pink underneath. Pretty cool. Lowrider. Generations. It was about turnings. They call them turnings because one generation does something and then the next generation and the next generation. So like World War II and then there's... I don't know. I don't feel like explaining it. Old doofus Al Gore, who invented the internet and helped Motoko creep. Yeah, not gonna work. Oh well. Change the subject. What would be a good subject change? Next verse, same as the first. Da-da-da-da, only a little bit worse. Man, did I eat anything? I ate oatmeal. I'm kind of hungry. I ate oatmeal. So. Oatmeal, Motoko. In the expanded, it's gonna eventually. I think there's gonna be this thing called the human expanding multiverse. So at some point, you'll realize that, how like the superhero movies have the multiverse, because like there's the solar system, which is like the sun. And it's got like whatever 9 planets, 6 planets. I don't know how many planets. Some elementary school kid could tell me. I don't remember. It's like 9, 6, I don't remember, 11. Neptune, Saturn. You don't use that information really, so I kind of forget it. Mars, Venus. Venus is acidic. The Russians went there in the Soviet Union. They had Mir, Saturn, and Neptune. They're the ones that are fat gas giants, I think, and they got rings. And then Pluto is a moon, and Mars, Venus, Uranus. I think that's a gas one because it's Uranus. It's full of gas because it's Uranus. It's full of gas because it's Uranus. What else? Mars. There's probably some other ones. I don't remember them. Okay, solar system. Then there's the Milky Way. And it's got like 400 million solar systems in it. And then there's like 2 or 3 Milky Ways in the universe. There's like 2 of them. I think there's like 2. So it's pretty big out there. Pretty big. 2 Milky Ways. 2 whole Milky Ways. Can you think of that? 2 400 million star systems. That's a lot of stars. It's like 800 million stars. 2 whole Milky Ways. I like Milky Ways. They're pretty tasty. Not my favorite candy bar. My favorite candy bar would probably be like Snickers. Twix. Twix is pretty good. Almond Joys are okay. What else is pretty good? What other candy bars? 100 Grands are okay. Peanuts and chocolate go together pretty well. Paydays, I think the problem with Paydays is they don't have any chocolate in them, Milky Ways, they're like a caramel and chocolate, but there's no peanuts. The peanut butter Snickers, Reese's and peanut butter Snickers, pretty good. Get rid of the nougat, put peanut butter in there. That's pretty good. Nutrageous, that's a good candy bar. You can't get them like you can get them individually. You can kind of get them at Sam's, I think, but you can't get a lot of them. I want to get some Nutrageous at it. I don't want to pay goy prices. I don't want to go to a gas station and pay goy prices for Nutrageous, because the Nutrageous is like a Snickers mixed with a Reese's, kinda. I guess that'd be an analogy. It's peanut butter with chocolate with peanuts. I guess that's what it is. It's pretty good. And then you got goy prices, because you can buy them off like Amazon. You can get them kind of cheap, or Sam's, but you have to get them delivered. And then it's important not to pay goy prices. Goy prices would be like you buy a 20 ounce for $2-3 at a gas station. You buy something at a gas station, you're paying goy prices, and you want to pay them wholesale prices. You want to pay, you buy cocaine. Cocaine is like $50, $100 a gram. You want to buy it by the kilogram. You want to get it wholesale. I want to get my Costco cocaine. I want to get because it's like $10 a gram if you buy it wholesale. $10,000, $20,000 a kilo. I need to find a friend who can hook me up with some kilo prices. That's called international. That's interstate drug trafficking. You gotta stick to You know, you get nickel and dimed by your low level drug pusher. Oh well. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I don't know. I mean, that's how much. I think that's the price of coke per kilo. I don't know. How do you know that? Is there a? There used to be the Silk Road. The Silk Road. Could you buy kilos of coke off the Silk Road? I want to get a kilo of coke off the Silk Road. How do you know you don't get ripped off? That would suck. Imagine spending $20,000 on a kilo of coke and they mail you a thing like baking soda. Oh man, you feel so fucking stupid. Holy shit, that would be like the worst day ever. I saved up $20K. I got to you open up your brown box and you're like, oh, I can't wait to just, you know, and you end up finding out it's shit. It's shit, it's all shit. I just wanted my kilo of Coke. That's why I stick with Coca-Cola. I never get disappointed. I can go to a grocery store and get a 2 liter for like $2. 10 times better than, because it's the consistency. I don't have to worry about getting ripped off on Coca-Cola. You know, you gotta worry about getting ripped off on the Coke. With the Coca-Cola, you can go to a gas station, you can go to a Costco, go to a Sam's or Walmart, and you can get your fix for Coca-Cola. Or McDonald's. McDonald's has pretty good Coca-Cola. And none of them I mean, Coca-Cola at McDonald's is supposed to be like really good because they have some tricks or something. And they do it with syrup. You know, syrup is, if you're like the real boys, they, you know, if you're buying Coke and you don't have a syrup dispenser machine, you're probably a goyim. You're probably a protist. You at the bottom of the pyramid power. You at the bottom of the pyramid power. Oh yeah, volleyball ladies. Giggity giggity. Giggity giggity. That's an old Family Guy joke, right? Family Guy, perverty quagmire. Perverty quagmire. Everything. Wonder which of the Ninja Turtles was he? Was he a Raphael or Michelangelo? Michelangelo, probably. Right? He would be. What humor would he be? Humor jokes? You trying to do a callback joke there? I'm gonna connect it to humors. Everything's a humor. Everything's a humor. You gotta categorize that stuff. You gotta categorize the people into their humors. Categorize the people into their humors. Categorize the people into their humors. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. $7. Wash all you want. Ooh, you did that joke yesterday and it wasn't funny then, and now it's not funny now. Who said it's a joke? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You didn't do your Barack Obama DNA joke. Barack Obama DNA joke was it's about Oprah and all the billionaire African Americans. They pool their money and they pool their money and it's connected to the abortion thing, because abortion, like Kanye had this really funny joke he told where he was saying that, like, you know, all the abortions are like black babies. So it was like, as a Republican, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but as a fake Republican, as a Reno, I'm a racist, but I'm against abortion. So I'm very confused about the dead black babies. As a Reno, I'm not actually a Republican. I'm just a troll trying to cause trouble. I'm a troll, kind of cause trouble. Troublemaker. He's a troublemaker. I'm bad to the bone, bad to the bone. Da-da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-da-dun. Oh, you're doing like a Robin Williams thing where you just go from one thing to another without any connection. You're not doing it hyper enough. You gotta increase the hyperness to pull that off. You know, if you increase the hyper levels, you can do that a little better, maybe. Leaves, grass, bad to the bone, bones, doctors. That's not fun. Okay, so Kanye, abortions. All the rich black people pool their money together, and then they CRISPR the African American community up. You know, the average black IQ is now 140 because they CRISPR. The key word is I keep saying CRISPR because I don't actually know what's going on. It's genetic manipulation. So I say CRISPR, and that encompasses how little I actually know about these subjects. But it's genetic manipulation, and then instead of it being, you know, because the postmodernists would say, you know, IQ is a creation by the people of the top of the pyramid. It's a pyramid power trick, and but this would be an inversion of the pyramid. It would be stealing the qualities of the right. It would be nope. Douglas Murray racist. Fuck yeah. I'm a racist. I'm a racist. I'm a racist. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I already made postmodern jokes. You know, the Christians are the real postmodernists, right? You know that, right? People know that Christianity is the start of postmodernism, right? He's the guy who his mother magically had a virgin kid. That's postmodernist stuff right there. That's 3 is 1. That's Terrence Howard level mathematics. I don't want to say I was going to say the N-word, but I don't want to say it. We'll call it narcissistic math. But I was going to mean it the other way. The other N. That's a mean word to say. Calling it the other N-word math. That's 3 is 1 is very Terrence Howard math or N math. Ooh, you're playing a dirty game there. You're playing narcissistic math, but you mean the other N-word. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Don't go calling. Whoa, man, it's a dirty joke. Dirty joke. It's a dirty, dirty joke. N math, narcissistic math, narcissistic math, narcissistic math. I'm a narcissistic math man. Yeah. Narcissistic math? Gotta wait for cars. I just want to make sure, you know, like I want to make sure that I hit the right and the left equally here, you know. I want to make sure that no one's going to be like, hey, that guy basically just said that he basically is a racist because he just said, if you believe 3 is 1, you're basically a, not a narcissist, but that other word. Oh, well. You're a postmodernist. Yeah, you're a postmodernist. Postmodernism. I do like postmodernism because it's very post and it's modern. I like modern things. And I like things that are post because post means after. So it's after modernism, right? And modernism is all modern. So it'd be even more modern than modernism. So it's postmodernism. It's above and beyond modernism. Pre-modernism would be before modernism. I don't know, you just add and subtract suffixes and prefixes. You can get anywhere you want, I guess. Does this thing still have is this better at
because normally I don't get this far. This has been 3 hours and 30 minutes and my battery is still going. So maybe this new program is better at using battery life too. That'd be kind of cool. Pretty cool. 3 hours and 30 minutes on a battery. And I'm running video. But I'm only doing it at 100 kbs a second. Not. You could do the math and try to figure out what is 10 gigs an hour. What is 10 gigs an hour kbs? Chat GPT, what is 10 gigs an hour at kbs? Convert that. You got to make sure when you do conversions, you got to make sure everything's equal to 1. When you multiply stuff, it's got to be 1. That's a moral. The moral of multiplication and conversions, I guess. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'm the Terminator. 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 I'm a T-800. I don't literally have... That'd be so fucking cool. I want to get some fucking metal Indo or endo? Endo is under? Endo? Speaking of suffixes and prefixes, what the fuck does endo mean? Endoskeleton. So it's under? Endo? Exostellar? So an exoskeleton would be like that one with Matt Damon, where he's in like South Africa or something, right? He had an exoskeleton because it went on top of his body because he got hit with like cancer radiation, and he had to go up to the space station where they were building the Dyson Sphere. They weren't building a Dyson Sphere in that movie. That was a Jodie Foster. They lived in I don't know. That's a good question because here's the thing about the if you're a lefty or a righty, the lefties all think the people at the top and the right are all connected. So here's the thing about kings. Kings don't like other kings. Like the Kaiser didn't like the Tsar. The Kaiser sent Lenin into Russia. You got to remember, Kissinger, he went to China, and he got the Russians who were communists and the Chinese who were communists to fight each other. Well, to be more hostile towards each other. The communists aren't really communists, and the kings aren't really kings. They're both immoral nihilists. By nihilists, I mean I live in Florence, Alabama, and there's a city an hour away from here called Huntsville, Alabama. And there's this guy. He was a Nazi during World War II, named Werner von Braun. And they went to the moon. And Werner von Braun was pivotal to going to the moon. Without him, he made the V2 for the Nazis, but he made the Saturn, I believe 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 3, 2. One of the Saturns, probably. He made a rocket, and it was a big rocket. And they went to the moon on this rocket. And there's a conspiracy theory that we never went to the moon. But, Neil Armstrong went to the moon. And I'm a nihilist, so I believe that Neil Armstrong went to the moon. So that's why I'm a nihilist. So a lot of people don't know that that's what nihilism means. You believe in Neil Armstrong. I believe his story, that we went to the moon. A lot of people don't. There's a lot of people in this world who are not nihilists. They're flat earthers. They're hollow earthers. I like hollow earthers. They're pretty smart. Or they're not nihilists. Or maybe they are nihilists. I can't remember. Are they nihilists or are they not? If you're a hollow earther, does that automatically mean you're not a nihilist and that you believe that we went to the moon? I don't know. Maybe. There's a movie where the Nazis are on the moon, and then Hitler was still alive, and he was riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex because there's a hollow Earth. Right? There's a hollow Earth. Huh. Probably. Could be possible. at the end of World War II, the Americans couldn't find the Hitler's body for a while because the SMERSH and the, I think it was KGB or NKVD, hid the body. They didn't pass that information. And, that's where the Hitler went to Argentina myth came from. I think I read this. I don't know if it's true. I might just be making this up. But what if he did go to Argentina and then he could eat like dead babies or babies? He could eat. He's still alive. What if he's been alive for thousands of years? He probably has. Or he died. I think he might have just eaten cyanide and blew his brains out like Cagney Lynn Carter or Hemingway, or maybe he hung himself like August Ames. Oh well. August Ames. She did have that acne shit, which was kind of disgusting, but beautiful besides the acne, I guess. Huh. No connection there. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm gonna fuck the zeitgeist. Fuck the zeitgeist. Oh yeah, fuck that zeitgeist. There's very thin threads connecting these jokes. If there's anything connecting them, I don't see the threads very clearly. They're there if you look. Finally. Maybe. Maybe not. It's a conspiracy theory. It's a neural network. Conspiracy theories are like neural networks. They're strings connecting neurons. Something like that. Random connections connecting random neural network connection nodes. I just use big fancy words. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck. What is a node? It's a node. It's like a train station. Train station is like a node, right? Because it. Maybe. I don't know. It's like the mean, the median, the mode, the node. The mode and the node. The mode is the mean is the average. The mode is the mean. Yeah, mode is repetitions of numbers. So if you had two twos, a one, two twos would be a mode. Yeah. Why the fuck did I learn that when I was in, whenever I learned that? I've never used modes in my life. Find the mode. Where's the modes? I need more modes. Give me more modes, stat. Nope. Where do you use modes? I guess you would use modes, probably. Some people use modes. I need modes. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Dad, I got like 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left. Let's see, I still got battery. 340, man, 340. Or is that the time? I think that's the time, you dumbass. Is this on? I don't even know if this is on. Oh, 328. It's at the bottom. It's red. It says I'm low on battery. Well, see you nerds.